Everybody is seated? All right. Still have some folks in the back, and I know that, oh, good, they're firefighters. You guys, I appreciate you standing. That's good. I like when it makes me feel safer. Very, very good. Okay, welcome to the Board of County Commissioners Board Meeting of May 7th, 2024. I would ask now for the clerk to call us to order with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Barnett. Here. Commissioner Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Bernard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Marino.
Here.
Mayor Sachs.
Here.
Commissioner Weiss.
Here.
Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to, everybody could stand up for the invocation. Very good, thank you. Dear Lord, may peace find its home in the land of Israel, a place steeped in ancient heritage and sacred stories. May those who dwell there and all who look upon it with hope find tranquility and respite from strife. Let understanding and compassion grow, bridging divides and healing wounds. Bless the region with harmony, safety, and the enduring light of peace. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Now that we have a full crowd, I would like to let everybody know the type of decorum. Some of you are first timers here, and we respect each other. We do not applaud or boo, or it's not a WWE wrestling type of situation. It's the Board of County Commissioners. And I know that I will respect your opinions, and you will respect not just the colleagues that I sit next to, but to the great government of Palm Beach County and the United States of America. With that, we're going to proceed with the agenda approval. Are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions to the agenda as presented?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, on page 16, 3C7 has been deleted for further staff review. On page 60, 3AA4 has a revised motion, title, and summary to correct dollar amounts and the number of units being replaced. On page 69, 3EE1 has been deleted for further staff review. That concludes our additions, deletions, and substitutions.
Very good. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? Commissioner Baxter is the first. Commissioner Woodward is the second. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Before I go on to the consent agenda, I think we have some stars here in our assembly. I believe we have some state legislators. As I call your name, if you could stand, I believe we have Senator Powell, Bobby Powell, present. Here he is. Takes a senator to know when you walk in a room. I tell you, you did a great job. We have Representative Richard Roth is here as well, and we have Representative David Silvers. David, are you here? The consent agenda is found on pages 12 to 69. Does anybody, any colleague of mine, wish to pull anything from the consent agenda? Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to pull item K1.
Tell us the page, please.
That would be found on page 42. 3K1.
Okay, very good. And, all right. Anybody else wish to pull anything from the consent agenda? All right. Seeing no other issues with it, why don't we go ahead and accept the agenda as modified by the removal of that one item? And if I had a motion, I had one from Vice Mayor Marino, a second from Commissioner Baxter. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Okay, Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, ma'am. The reason I pulled item 3K1 was a couple of things. I just, first off, I support this item, but I wanted to do a shout out to our Water Utilities Department. This project in specific of getting sewer and working in partnership with the town, Village of Palm Springs, has been something that has been a long time coming, and I'm so pleased that they were able to get this worked out. And then secondarily, I just want to shout out to our director, Ali Bayat, for the amazing work that he has been doing. We recently had a situation over Lake Worth Beach Utilities, and Ali and his staff took the lead in helping to resolve damage to the force main sewer system that was spewing millions of gallons of raw sewage because of a mistake by a contractor. But our Water Utilities Department stepped up and made sure that it was resolved as quickly as possible with the minimal amount of impact to the environment and to our residents. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for all you have done and continue to do, and just how proud I am to be part of this government and have folks like you here supporting our community. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve item 3K1.
Very good. And we have a first by Commissioner Weiss, second by the Vice Mayor. But before we vote, Commissioner Barnett, did you want to add something?
No, I didn't want to add anything. I just wanted to echo Commissioner Weiss's comments and thank you, Ali, and your entire team for getting that situation resolved, as well as Todd. I was going to second, but somebody beat
You'll
me to
be
it.
the third.
I'll third.
And find a third by Commissioner Barnett. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. You do a wonderful job. Thank you so much, Mr. Bayat. Thank you. Okay, so the consent agenda has been approved. We are going to move on now to special presentations, which appears on pages 70 and 71. We have a number of them, and we're going to move right through them.
Yes. Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Ms. Baker?
Ms. Baker.
Ms. Baker?
Just a note that with our three legislators that you recognized at the very beginning, there is a short video, about a minute and a half, and I believe that staff has plaques for them as well from the Board of County Commissioners.
Well, all right. All right. Then why don't we go ahead and we have our three legislators here. Did Representative Roth, is he here? He's not. Is Todd? He'll be here shortly. I don't want to start this without Representative Roth, so why don't we just wait? I know that his chief of staff is here, but we'll wait out of respect for Representative Roth. So we're going to go ahead and proceed with the special proclamations at this time. And I am going to start with proclamation recognizing Israel's 76th anniversary of independence, and that's going to be over here on the left side. And while I do that, right behind me is going to be Commissioner Weiss with the proclamation declaring May 2024 as Jewish American Heritage Month. And so, Commissioner Weiss, why don't we go ahead and proceed with that? And then on the right side, why don't we go ahead with, let me see. Is there any commissioner who would like to go immediately after these two? No? Okay. Then I'll choose. Why don't we do then B, proclamation declaring August 4th, 2024 as Nancy G. Brinker Day with District 3. So District 3 will be on the right side with all that you want to do as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and proceed. This is the fun part of what we do. And I'll start, and then Commissioner Weiss, you'll be right behind me. All right, here we're going to go. We're going to go. This is a proclamation declaring today we're going to recognize Israel's 76th anniversary of independence. So if I could call up all those who are here for that day, I'd be wonderful. Come on up, everybody who is here for this day. I'd be remiss if I did not recognize, after recognizing all the stellar legislators that we have, to not recognize my husband. I know. This is important, right, ladies? Amen. Peter Sachs is here. Peter Sachs is my husband, and Mr. Sachs was born in a DP camp in Berlin immediately after World War II ended and the Holocaust ended. So he is very much connected to the state of Israel as well as to its continuing survival. We also have with us, I know, we have from the Council General's office with us as well, and that is, we have Gabriel Barbados. Very nice. Okay. Whereas on May 14th, 1948, Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, publicly read the Declaration of Independence of Israel, announcing the birth of a state based on freedom, justice, and peace. Whereas every year this event is commemorated on Israel's Independence Day, also known as Yom HaSabbat. That's okay, Peter. Okay. And whereas during the celebration, the Speaker of the Israeli Parliament, or the Knesset, delivers remarks on Mount Herzl with a special televised presentation for all the citizens of Israel. And whereas the day before Yom HaSabbat is Yom HaZikaron, which is a ceremonious occasion and day of remembrance, officially known as Israel's Day of Remembrance for fallen soldiers and victims of terrorism, commemorating the Israelis who perished fighting and who continue to fight for the state of Israel. And whereas the state ceremony includes performances, speeches, and ceremonial lighting of 12 torches, symbolizing the 12 tribes of Israel. Whereas in addition to official ceremonies, Israelis celebrate Yom HaSabbat in a variety of ways, dancing and singing Israeli songs, taking hikes, or having picnics. It is part of recognizing individual Israelis for their unique contributions to the country's culture, science, arts, and humanities. And whereas it is also recognized and acknowledged in the United States of America with large festivities where various synagogues may join together in a common celebration. And whereas today, Palm Beach County is honored to join in this celebration and to recognize Israel's 76th anniversary of independence. the Palm Beach County Historic Courthouse and Four Points Building will be lit with Israel's national colors of blue and white on the evenings of May 13th and May 14th. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May, that the board hereby recognizes, acknowledges, and celebrates the 76th anniversary of Israel's independence. Be it further proclaimed that this proclamation is sealed and executed by the members of the Board of County Commissioners. So, congratulations. This is your week.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Commissioners. We are in very difficult times, as you know. Israel is an amazing country. I've been working for the State of Israel for a long time. These times that we are facing right now is a war against evil, against uneducated people, unfortunately. United States has been an amazing friend of Israel, and it's going to be forever. Israel also is an amazing friend of the United States. So the friendship that we share is not going to be broken. Unfortunately, the problems that we have right now is the evil not only in the war in the Middle East, it's already in the United States. And you can see in the colleges, many colleges in US, having a terrible, terrible example. I'm an American citizen. I cannot believe as an American that we can see in those top colleges the uneducated academics and students. They are completely taken by evil. So again, this is not a war for Israel. Our survival is our importance for every single democracy in the world. It's not easy to live in the Middle East. So as an American, as a Jewish person, Argentinian, by the way, by my accent, you can tell, I'm very proud of what you're doing. This is incredibly amazing. And I have only one favor, with all the respect. If you can stand up for a second, please. Our soldiers in Israel are defending the citizens. And in addition to that, are defending any democracy in the world, especially in the Western world. So just to let you know, we have family, personal family and friends fighting in Israel. They are not fighting only for the state of Israel. They're fighting against evil and to defend any democracy in the world. So it's also they are also defending you. So I need an applause just for them, for every person who's giving their life for them. God bless Israel, United States of America, and any peaceful country in the world. Thank you very much. It's talking about. Yeah, we see so. Thanks, baby.
Good morning. I'd like to ask, can we have Jewish Federation, Brian Seymour, Joe Gaughan, Jeffrey Dawson, folks from Alpert, AFS Jewish Family Services, AJC, ADL, Ruth and Norman Rails, Jewish Family Services. If you're here, please step forward. And following on the mayor's heels, do you have your heels on today? She does. It's going to be my honor to present a proclamation declaring May 2024 as Jewish American Heritage Month. It's also today is Holocaust Remembrance, as we refer to it as Shoah, where 6 million Jews and countless others were exterminated in Europe by the Germans. And as we just heard, this has been a challenging and difficult year for Jewish people around the world, here in the United States, and unfortunately, it's been challenging here, even in Palm Beach County. But I'm proud to stand with you all this morning as we are surrounded by a wonderful community as we present this proclamation. Whereas Jewish immigrants in America, since their arrival to our shores in the 17th century, have played a central role in the creation, growth, freedom, prosperity, and the strength of the United States of America. And the American Jewish community has grown, now more than 6 million strong. And whereas the biblical and contemporary history of the Jewish people and the enduring values of the Jewish faith were vital sources of inspiration for the founding of our country, the civil rights movement, America's global leadership in the cause of freedom, the commitment to social justice, and many, many of our nation's most central tenets. Through core Jewish beliefs, such as the creation of man in the image of God, the infinite value of human life, the need for a weekly Sabbath, and the importance of education in the lives of children, the Jewish community has helped to define America's character and our values. Jewish citizens who settled in West Palm Beach in 1892 have played a central role in political, economic, and social development, and have served in the armed forces of the United States and the Florida National Guard. Whereas on April 20th, 2006, President George W. Bush proclaimed that May would be Jewish American Heritage Month. The announcement was a crowning achievement in an effort led by the Jewish Museum of Florida and South Florida Jewish community leaders that resulted in a resolution that was presented by Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida and Senator Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania, urging the president to proclaim a month that would recognize the history of Jewish contributions to the American culture. The resolution passed unanimously, first in the House of Representatives in December of 2005, and later in February of 2006 in the Senate. So whereas Jewish American Heritage Month is a time to celebrate more than 350 years of history and encourage awareness of many Jewish contributions to our history, our culture, military, science, economy, government, and artistic and intellectual life. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that May 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Jewish American Heritage Month. Congratulations, and thank you for being here.
Mayor Sachs, Commissioner Weiss, and all the county commissioners, on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County and the Jewish community, I thank you so very much for this proclamation. As you've said, we've been here before on lesser topics, and the rise of anti-Semitism has dominated the news. Palm Beach County has the highest number of incidences. But here today we recognize and move beyond that and look at the contributions that the Jewish community has made to this county, to the state, and to the country. And we're most grateful to that, and we thank you very much.
Thank you. Pictures. Go ahead and invite Ms. Nancy Brinker. Anyone else who would like to stand with us for proclamation honoring Nancy Brinker today? I'm privileged to honor Nancy Brinker for her lifetime of work impacting not just Palm Beach County, but our nation and the world. She's admirably dedicated herself to the fight against breast cancer and helping countless women, regardless of their socioeconomic status. On behalf of Palm Beach County, I want to thank Ms. Brinker. We are proud to have you and your organization in our community. Okay. A proclamation declaring August 4th, 2024 as Nancy G. Brinker Day. Whereas Nancy G. Brinker is a 3-time ambassador and is regarded as the leader of the global breast cancer movement. And whereas her journey began with a promise to her dying sister, Susan G. Komen, that she would do everything possible to end the shame, fear, and hopelessness caused by this disease. And whereas in 1982, she founded the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, and a year later started the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure series, which is now the world's largest and most successful education and fundraising event for breast cancer. And whereas she served as U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Hungary from 2001 to 2003 and served as U.S. Chief of Protocol from 2007 to 2009. And whereas in 2009, President Barack Obama honored Ambassador Brinker with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. She was also named Goodwill Ambassador for Cancer Control for the United Nations World Health Organization, where she continues her mission to put cancer prevention at the top of the world's health agenda. And whereas she wrote the New York Times best-selling memoir, Promise Me, How a Sister's Love Launched the Global Movement to End Breast Cancer. An inspirational story of her transformation from bereaved sister to the undisputed leader of the ongoing international movement to end breast cancer. And whereas in 2018, Ms. Brinker spearheaded the creation of the Promised Fund of Florida, an organization aimed at increasing survivorship from breast cancer and cervical cancer by providing guided support and access to screenings, early detection, treatment, and beyond. It gives every woman the opportunity to attain health care, regardless of who she is, where she lives, or her level of income. And whereas the Promise Fund's innovative model of care is being replicated across South Florida and has impacted over 26,000 women to date. And whereas National Sisters Day, taking place on August 4th, 2024, we commemorate the bond and promise she made to her sister Susan by honoring her contributions to breast cancer awareness. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May, 2024, that August 4th, 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Nancy G. Brinker Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am very moved and very thrilled to be able to accept this commendation on behalf of all of us at the Promise Fund and at Susan G. Komen and women everywhere who have suffered from this disease. I'm grateful to be here today and wanted to thank Commissioner Michael Barnett, Mayor Sachs, and the dedicated board and staff of this great meeting and organization, as well as ours at the Promise Fund, our board of directors, and our great staff. I'd also like to thank and nod David Silvers, who's done a lot on his side to help us. And as the founder of Susan G. Komen, I made a solemn promise to my sister Susie as she was dying from breast cancer in 1980. I swore that I would dedicate my life to eradicating this disease for women and families, regardless of their income level. Today, myself a breast cancer survivor, I stand before you after 47 years of work, humbled by the opportunity more every day to apply what we know and extend that commitment through the Promise Fund and the care and giving that we are able to do at our program at Found Care. Building upon the invaluable lessons learned, we've established a robust network of patient navigators within our community. These compassionate individuals tirelessly reach out to underserved women, guiding them into our healthcare system. We have an innovative model. We provide access to care. We will even take the mammography van into their communities to bring health care to them. In Palm Beach County alone, there are between 80 to 100,000 uninsured residents. Over the past 3 years of operations, our efforts have resulted in engaging 26,000 of these women and facilitating mammograms for 8,000 of them. I want to thank Commissioner Barnett for recognizing me with a proclamation. The day that was dedicated to me is August 4th. That was also the day that my sister died, August 4th. When this date was shared with me, I thought it was a sign from my dear Susie that she approves of our hard work. With that, I would like to ask each of you to prioritize your health screenings and your families and encourage your loved ones, friends, and colleagues to do the same. If anyone you know requires assistance, please urge them to reach out to the Promise Fund. Together, let us empower women to take control of their health and rewrite the narrative of breast and cervical cancer. Thank you for joining me in this important mission, and thank you for embracing wellness and making a community that is already one of the best communities in the world even better. Thank you.
So beautiful. All right, now we're going to go on to National Travel and Tourism Proclamation. And if I could have Emmanuel Perry, who's Executive Director of the Palm Beach County Tourist Development Council, Milton Segarra, President and CEO of Discover the Palm Beaches, Dave Lawrence, President and CEO of the Cultural Council for Palm Beach County, George Lindley, Executive Director of Palm Beach County Sports Council, and Michelle Hillary, Film Commissioner for Film and Television Commission. If y'all could just come on up here, and I'm going to read this. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to declare May 19th to 25 as National Travel and Tourism Week. Whereas the travel industry is critical to growing our local economy. And whereas the Palm Beach County Tourist Development Council's agencies, including Discover the Palm Beaches, Florida, the Cultural Council for Palm Beach, the Sports Commission, the County Film and Television Commission, and the Palm Beach County Convention Center, develop marketing and sales strategies to support tourism, which generates an annual economic impact to the local economy of $10.3 billion. And whereas in 2023, the Palm Beach County tourism industry welcomed 9.5 million tourists and visitors and soon-to-be residents who welcomed our beaches, attended sporting and cultural events, stayed in hotels, and shopped in our wonderful stores here in Palm Beach County. Whereas these tourism activities directly related to 96,000 jobs for residents, boosting our overall economy and supporting the well-being of all of us. Whereas the Tourist Development Council and its agencies work to provide destination awareness nationally and internationally, and it drives Palm Beach County's tourism, we have created the Love the Palm Beaches campaign, encouraging residents to share their love for the Palm Beaches with friends and family, driving visitation to the area. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the County Commissioners, Palm Beach County assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May, 2024, that May 19th to the 24th in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed National Travel and Tourism Week. Therefore, this proclamation is duly sealed. It's got a red ribbon, and it's executed by all the members of the Palm Beach County Commission. Thank you and congratulations. Mr. Perry, you may speak.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Madam Baker. On behalf of my colleagues and I, it's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to promote this beautiful destination that we call home. Mayor was able to read off some tremendous stats and benchmarks that we hit in fiscal year 2023. We will look to carry that momentum in 2024 and beyond. This is our team right here. We're hard-working and dedicated. We'll look to bring some new and exciting events to Palm Beach County to be able to diversify what we're able to do here in Palm Beach County. Again, thank you.
The Hispanic Education Coalition of Palm Beach County was established to promote educational equity in the Palm Beach County School District. The Hispanic Education, or HEC, recognizes that by advocating for greater equity and access for Hispanic students, educational professionals, and community members, it will also benefit other groups in the community which have been historically underserved. HEC was founded by an incredible leader in our community, Dr. Joaquin Garcia. His greatest passion was HEC, serving as chairman of the organization for more than 12 years. Dr. Garcia frequently stated, "I do not have any natural children, but I consider the tens of thousands of students in the district to be my children and my responsibility." I admire his passion and applaud the organization he proudly founded. I also have his portrait in my office to remember his vision every day. We brought it with us. We have everybody here from HEC? We also have my brother-in-law who came down from Melbourne and his mom. Are you not coming up? Okay, a little bashful. That's all right. All right. Proclamation recognizing the Hispanic Education Coalition of Palm Beach County for promoting and advocating for educational equity in the school district of Palm Beach County. Whereas, since 2012, the Hispanic Education Coalition of Palm Beach County has persistently promoted education equity in the school district, advocating for an inclusive education environment for all students. And whereas HEC tirelessly champions students' access to all district schools, regardless of race, primary language, or immigration status, to ensure fairness in enrollment, reduce the disproportionate dropout rate of Hispanic and minority students, and promote college readiness. And whereas HEC actively monitors hiring and training practices and proposes solutions for equitable employment opportunities for Hispanic teachers and administrators and professional development for educators. And whereas HEC directly engages with the school district leaders and the Hispanic community to understand educational concerns that make recommendations to enhance district policies and practices. And whereas HEC promotes a curriculum that fosters strong verbal, quantitative skills while embracing a multicultural perspective of American society and supporting state-mandated studies. And whereas HEC contributes to committee and school board meetings and advocates for equitable representation, policies and practices that pave the way for an inclusive educational environment reflecting the needs and values of the county's diverse student population. And whereas HEC was instrumental in naming the Dr. Joaquin Garcia High School in Western Lake Worth, the county's first high school named after a Hispanic community leader. Dr. Garcia was one of the founders of HEC. And whereas, through fundraising efforts, including the HEC Gala and the La Vuelta of Palm Beach, HEC generates vital resources to support its initiatives such as the scholarship program that provides financial support to Latinx Hispanic students, ensures access to opportunities for higher education and success, and promotes educational equity to empower Hispanic students. And whereas HEC's multifaceted efforts are of paramount importance in advancing equity and creating an inclusive educational environment for all students in Palm Beach County. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that the board recognizes Hispanic Education Coalition of Palm Beach County, Inc. for promoting and advocating for educational equity in the school district of Palm Beach County.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Carlos Diaz. I'm the current chairman of the Hispanic Education Coalition, and I want to thank Commissioner Barnett and the rest of the members of the commission for this recognition of our efforts. You've heard from the commissioner what we do. This past week, we have given out 7 college scholarships for high school seniors who are both academically meritorious and have high economic need. We will continue to monitor equity issues in the district as they're brought to our attention. And my only regret is that my predecessor, Dr. Joaquin Garcia, is not here to witness today. Thank you.
I would also like to recognize School Board Member Alexandria Ayala. If you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Barnett, for this recognition for an organization that means so much to me and does so much for so many in Palm Beach County. It's an honor to honor Joaquin's legacy. There has certainly been big shoes to fill, but together we can continue the mission of the organization in ensuring that every child receives the absolute best possible opportunities for their future. So thank you so much.
Anybody else want to speak?
Anybody else wants to speak?
No, that's good.
Okay, moving right along. If I could have, I'm going to give a proclamation now, the emergency medical service. If I could have Stephanie, I always mispronounces, Senhoya, Director of Public Safety, Mary Blakeney, Director of Emergency Management, Lynette Schuster, EMS Specialist, and Emergency Management. If you all could come on up, I will. And whoever else would like to come up as part of the EMS, because this is for all of you. It takes a team, isn't it, Mary? Okay, very, very good. This is a declaration declaring May 19th to 2024 as emergency, medical. I feel safe, really. Very, don't you? Emergency Medical Services Week. I'm going to read this as y'all start coming up. Whereas the providers of emergency medical services devote their lives to saving others, and whereas the providers of emergency medical services include medical directors, physicians, nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, educators, and administrators, and whereas the citizens and visitors of Palm Beach County rely on the knowledge, skill, and dedication of these professionals, and whereas education, prevention, and advances in emergency medical care increase the number of lives served each year, and whereas residents value and support the establishment of exemplary emergency medical services, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May, 2024, that May 19th through May 25th in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Emergency Medical Services Week. Be it further proclaimed by the board that this proclamation is duly sealed, ribboned, and executed by all the members of this board. Congratulations. We thank you for your dedication, your service, and we look forward to getting you back outside so you can help everybody in need today. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm Brian Fuller, Fire Chief of the City of Green Acres Fire Rescue, also President of the Fire Chiefs Association of Palm Beach County. On behalf of the telecommunicators who take the call, my colleagues here today, both public and private providers, and everyone involved in the continuum of care, I want to express our deepest appreciation for recognizing EMS Week. Your acknowledgement underscores the vital role we play in safeguarding public health and safety every day. Palm Beach County boasts a world-class healthcare system, and your support further strengthens our commitment to serving our community. Thank you for your unwavering recognition and support each and every day. Thank you.
Wow. This is a big group here. So, tall ones in the back. Come on up here. We have, I like to see too. Everybody's good? Okay. We have other proclamations, but at this time, we're going to take something very special out of turn, and that is we're going to see a movie. A little video about our wonderful legislators who do so much for Palm Beach County in representing our interests in our state capital. So at this time, I know we have Representative Rick Roth is present, Senator Bobby Powell is present, and Representative David Silvers is present. So if we could go ahead, Mr. Bonlaren, we could. Oh, and Representative Gervonta. Very nice.
I'm going to cue
Very
that video.
Mr. Bonlaren, you're
I'm a
recognized.
native of Palm Beach County. I am a farmer for 45 years. I still farm it. Greatest place to farm in the world. The Everglades agriculture area of Palm Beach County. I remind everybody every day, welcome to paradise.
It is an honor. I'll say this every time anybody asks. It's an absolute honor to be a member of the legislature. And it's an absolute honor to be a member of the Palm Beach County delegation section of the legislature.
I believe that a life of service is indeed a life that counts. I love Palm Beach County. I love being from Palm Beach County, and also love coming back to Palm Beach County when I'm out of session.
I want to thank the voters of District 87 and 89. With the redistricting, we had redistricted different district numbers. You know, to be sent here 4 times in a row is quite something. It's amazing. So thank you to all the voters of the district.
In God's economy, that is what he also asks. Trust me and believe. And with that, I close. Thank you, Chair.
Your mom, Hallie, tells you, Dad will be home in just a few sleeps. Well, we have a week and a half left. I'll be home in just a few sleeps. I love you, baby, with all my heart. I love you, Hallie. I'm coming home soon. With that, I close.
I thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to serve. I'm hopeful that I see our team, our staff, Maggie, and everybody else. I'm thankful for y'all. There's a song in the musical Hamilton that says, "Teach me how to say goodbye, but I'll see y'all on the other side." With that, Madam President, I thank you and I close.
Madam Mayor, I would invite Senator Powell, Representative Roth, and Representative Silvers to come forward to the podium. Senator Powell was first elected to the House in 2012 and later elected to serve in the Senate in 2016. He's the only AICP certified planner in the legislature and is an expert on growth management and land development related issues. And during his time in the legislature, he passed legislation across a variety of issues, including health care, estate planning, and public records. Representative Roth was elected to the Florida House in 2016. A farmer from Belglade, Representative Roth has worked to grow and protect agriculture interests in both the Glades region and across the state of Florida. Representative David Silvers was also elected to the Florida House in 2016, and during his tenure in the legislature, he's been a champion of mental health, passing several bills reforming the provision of care for children experiencing mental health crises. All three of these gentlemen have been real champions in bringing home the bacon for Palm Beach County, too, which we're going to talk about later on in our legislative update to you. And I've asked each of them if they would just share a few quick seconds with you about some of their time in Tallahassee and their appreciation.
Very good. Go right ahead, Senator Powell.
Well, awesome. Thank you all. I'm excited to be here this morning. Before we get started, I do want to wish a very, very special happy birthday to my wife, Whitney, who has joined us today. Happy birthday, Whitney. She is 29 again. I'm so happy and excited. I do also recognize with us this morning my Aunt Edith Bush, the Executive Director of the Martin Luther King Coordinating Committee. Aunt Edith. My colleague, friend, mentee, Representative Gervonta Edmonds is here to celebrate with us. A host of others, I know others are being honored and recognized. My friend in Tallahassee always looks out, lobbyist and attorney Sean Pittman is here, as well as a good friend of mine who, on my first run, asked me, who do you look up to in politics, and challenged me, and that was Tara Presley. So it's good to see you here, Tara. I want to thank you all. I would not be here without a young man challenging me to run for office the first time. And I will tell you that a life of service is a life that counts, but also it's our challenge to inspire people. And the greatest investment that you can make is the investment in people. And I do thank you, Commissioner Mac Bernard, for that investment many, many years ago. I have gone on to serve as the longest serving Black state legislator in the history of Palm Beach County, with 12 years under my belt. Thank you. And doing so, we've been able to pass over 25 new laws in Tallahassee, bring home more than $125 million. But our greatest challenge and our greatest prize has been the ability to work with everybody. When we're Palm Beach County, we got Representative Rick Roth, Representative Silvers, but we have worked together to bring home money to Tallahassee, whether it's Democrat, whether it's Republican. When we get to Palm Beach, when we get to Tallahassee, we are indeed Palm Beach County. I thank you for entrusting me to serve you all. I thank you for this honor, and I'll tell you this, the best is yet to come. Thank y'all.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I apologize for being late this morning. I had too many phone calls to make this morning. My name is Representative Rick Roth. I want to make a couple of quick comments. Trying to think as I was driving in this morning what I was going to say. Had forgotten that today was this day. As you already know, I'm a Palm Beach County farmer. I'm a vegetable farmer that also grows sugarcane in Belglade. I'm also a Palm Beach County native. I was born at Good Sam Hospital. But I'm also proud to say that I've been a Florida Gator football season ticket holder for 26 years, and I'm going to make political sense out of that in a minute. What I'm most proud of is that I serve as a state representative representing the greatest place to live in Florida, Palm Beach County, the greatest state in the Union, Florida, living in the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, and we owe it all to our Constitution and our Republic. Some of the commissioners were surprised about a year ago when I started calling them and showing up, because I had not done that for the previous 6 years. I'm a state representative. But I got involved with the commission because agriculture is who I am and what I believe in. And I still believe that Palm Beach County is the best place to farm in the United States, but there have been some problems. I want you to know that is what's so great about our republic, is the diffusion of power. You know, we had a Supreme Court rule on a funny date, April 1st, April Fool's Day, that we did go with a 6-week abortion ban, but we also put abortion on the ballot. Guess what? It doesn't make me upset that the Supreme Court does something different than I think they should do. It's a diffusion of power. It's all going to work out finally. The fact that government grinds slowly is actually a good thing, because that gives us a chance to make decisions. So I am just so proud of our county commission and the opportunities I've had to speak with them on agricultural issues. So let me finish with this. What was in today's news that I noticed this morning? Disney and Columbia University. What does that have to do with Gator football? You know what it has to do with? Florida, University of Florida is the number 5 university in the country. I predict within the next 5 years, thanks to places like Columbia, Harvard, and Yale, that Florida is going to be number 1. People are moving to southern states to go to college because there is no public safety in certain colleges. Secondly, Disney reminds us all that Florida is where woke goes to die. We have had to pass legislation to make sure that we're teaching our kids the proper things in our schools. And nobody could tell me that 10 years ago. Nobody could tell me we'd be dealing with allowing a man to change clothes in a woman's locker room and participate in women's sports. We do not allow that in Florida. And I'm here to tell you, on a positive note, we live in the greatest state in the state of Florida, and people are coming here because they want public safety. And I am so pleased to be here today, and I'm going to continue to serve in some way or shape or form. It's actually going to be up to Representative Silvers, because him and I are going to be competing for a state Senate race in 2 years. And with that, I'll close. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative David Roth.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, County Commissioners. I've got a tight 20 minutes to go, so no, I'm just kidding. I'll keep it real short. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. We are obviously terming out of the legislature right now, and it's no better honor to be honored by the County Commission that we've been serving for the past, it's been 12 years for Senator Powell and 8 years for myself and Representative Roth. I do want to thank the constituents who sent us over and over and over again. It's an honor. It's very humbling. But also, some people don't thank them enough, our staff. My staff isn't here today. I believe Representative Roth and Senator Powell's staff is here. If they are here, please stand up. I would like to have a round of applause for you, all the hard work that you do. We don't thank our staff enough, so thank you so much for all of your hard work. And I do have a former staffer here, Vicki Nolan. She now works for the county. I just want to say hi to Vicki and thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you, Vicki. As was mentioned before, when I first was elected to office, my dream, my hope was to be an effective member of the legislature. And these past 8 years, every single year that I've been a member of the House of Representatives, I've passed policy, but it's not I, it's a team. I work with my Senate sponsor, Senator Powell, and myself, many pieces of mental health legislation that has a positive impact on children in our school system. So I truly want to thank from the bottom of my heart your belief in me that we can get this done together. So thank you, Senator. And hopefully, if I am successful in the Senate, I look to carry on those goals and moving forward with positive policy for our state and focusing on mental health. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Senator Powell's heart and Representative Roth's heart. We really do appreciate it. I hope you don't mind me speaking for you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. If I can have our retiring legislators come on up here, and we're going to take a picture with a plaque. Appreciate it. And David.
Will, come on, Maria, get out of the way. You're in the. Just get a good one. Just take some good ones, Will.
Yeah, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Tighten up a little bit.
Okay, good.
Got you. I know you do.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
All right. I'm going to go right now. Ready? Okay. Okay, now we're going to proceed along with some more proclamations. If I could have Vice Mayor Marino take the podium, and Commissioner Baxter, if you could take the other podium, we'll go ahead and proceed. Thank you, folks. This was sort of a sweet moment when our legislators are retiring. And there I represented us in the state capitol. Part of government is all of us working together. And I appreciate their leadership, their dedication, and I especially appreciate the money that they bring back here to Palm Beach County that we pay in our state taxes. Very good. Thank you. All right. Commissioner Vice Mayor Marino, you're recognized.
Okay, so thank you all for being here and being patient. It's a busy month with lots of proclamations, more than we normally have, so it's nice to see a crowded room. Maybe someday we'll do the proclamations at your facilities instead, so your facilities get some PR instead of our chambers. Anyway, the next one is declaring May 19, 2025 as Water Reuse Week. So, Ali, where are you? Ali Bayat?
Here he is.
Hey, thanks. Cheryl McCorkle, South Florida Water Management. Thank you. And anybody else you'd like to include in the picture and the reading, I'm happy to have you up here. So we are declaring May 19th through 25th as Water Reuse Week, whereas safe, clean, and sustainable water resources are essential to Florida's environment, economy, citizens, and visitors, and whereas although Florida's water supply are finite, the state's population and need for water resources continues to increase. And whereas water reuse provides a means for conserving and augmenting Florida's precious water resources, preserving wetlands while planning responsibly for future growth through smart planning and the limiting of development. And whereas Florida has established the encouragement and promotion of water reuse as state objectives in chapters 373 and 403 Florida statutes, whereas Florida has risen to be a national leader in water reuse, reusing approximately 900 million gallons of reclaimed water per day, more than 50% of the wastewater treated to conserve fresh water supplies and recharge our fresh water resources. And whereas Florida's permitted reuse capacity is more than 2.4 billion gallons per day, which is approximately 87% of Florida's total permitted capacity for all domestic wastewater treatment facilities. And whereas May, typically a dry month when water demands are high, is a good time to educate the public on water reuse and how to help save Florida's precious water resources. And whereas Water Reuse Florida, the state section of the Water Reuse Association, has proclaimed the week of May 19th through 25th, 2024 as Florida Water Reuse Week. And whereas the Palm Beach County Water Utilities Department has joined with Water Reuse Florida, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and the South Florida Water Management District in encouraging and promoting water reuse and conservation. And whereas Palm Beach County has implemented a water reuse program and encourages residents and businesses to practice water conservation and the efficient and effective use of water reclaimed. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by us, the Board of County Commissioners, with the pretty seal, Water Reuse Week. Ali, would you like to say something?
Morning. Thank you, Commissioner Vice Mayor. I'm sorry. Yes. I appreciated all the support that we received from all of you. As a result of this, we're going to have the first education center dedicated to water reclamation in the state of Florida and the first purification facility in the state of Florida. Thank you all.
I wanted to give a brief shout out to the City of Green Acres. I know Chief Brian Fuller was here, I think he's left, as well as Council Member Susie Diaz, who stood with us, and the Hispanic Education Coalition. I think they both left. I wanted to make sure they got recognized. And I also wanted to take a moment to thank Representative Silvers and Senator Powell for the legislation that you've passed in the field of mental health, helping make the lives of our residents better. We are going to present a proclamation for May 24th. Recognizing mental health awareness and trauma-informed care in Palm Beach County. Raising awareness of our mental health issues in Palm Beach County is the start of coming up with solutions. Our team in Youth Services ensures that individuals and families affected by mental health challenges have access to quality mental health services and resources, including health care, education, law enforcement, social services, and policy advocacy for funding initiatives. I'd like to invite Kathy Murphy, CEO of NAMI Palm Beach County, Lauren Zuckman, Executive Director for Be Well Palm Beach County, Assistant County Administrator Tammy K. Fields, and Youth Services Department Director Elisa Kramer to come on up and join me, please. And I want to thank everyone, including PBSO, who always wears green, for wearing your green today in recognition of mental health awareness. Proclamation declaring May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness and Trauma-Informed Care Month. Whereas mental health is essential to overall well-being, and it is important to recognize that everyone experiences times of stress and struggles. And whereas 1 in 4 adults and 1 in 5 youth aged 13 to 18 experience serious mental health illness. And whereas 60% of adults and 50% of youth do not receive the mental health treatment necessary due to limited knowledge of the need, barriers to care, fear, or shame. And whereas adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, which include physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, household dysfunction, untreated mental illness, separation, or incarceration of a household member, and domestic violence, are traumatic experiences that can have a profound effect on a child's developing brain and body, and can result in poor physical and mental health during childhood and adulthood. And whereas mental health awareness leads to higher productivity, better educational outcomes, lower crime, stronger economies, lower healthcare costs, and improved quality of life. And whereas studies show that the effects of ACEs are felt by all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. And whereas isolation, sickness, grief, home instability, change of routine, and community trauma have increased the need for mental health services. And whereas each business, school, government, agency, healthcare provider, faith-based organization, nonprofit, and citizen has a responsibility to promote mental health awareness. Whereas the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the impact of awareness and education, access to services, and the importance of mental well-being to a person's success, and supports the implementation of trauma-informed approaches throughout the system of care. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May 2024, that May 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Mental Health Awareness and Trauma-Informed Care Month.
Thank you, Commissioner Barnett, for sponsoring this proclamation, and Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners for your support of the Get Your Green On campaign for Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you also, Administrator Baker and the Facilities Department, for lighting the historic courthouse and Four Points office building green during the month of May. Research has proven the healing impact of developing coping skills and building resilience in order to heal from adverse childhood experiences. The Youth Services Department provides therapeutic services for free throughout the year to Palm Beach County youth and families, and we join departments throughout Palm Beach County this month and throughout the year in recognizing the importance of mental health as a part of overall wellness. Please check the county's website and the Get Your Green On website for information about free lunch and learns, webinars, outdoor activities, and more ways that you can participate in Mental Health Awareness Month. And I will turn it over to Catherine Murphy, the CEO of NAMI Palm Beach County and the co-chair of this campaign.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you to everyone who's worn green today or has supported mental health. We have a lot of great leaders who've supported our mission for a long time. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter, Mayor, and everyone who is supporting our mission. And also, thank you, Elisa, Tammy, and Tevin at the county who have done so much to progress the Get Your Green On campaign. This campaign was launched in 2016 by students at Atlantic High School in Delray Beach, and those students are still leaders within our campaign. They recently created a really phenomenal video. I hope you can check it out. Birth to 22 took it on as part of their strategy with the Trauma Informed Action Committee the year after it started, and has just taken it so far. We have dozens of community partners participating. I'd like to acknowledge Renee Lehman and the Center for Child Counseling and all the work that they've done to fight ACEs in our county. So many thousands of people have participated in the campaign to date, and I'm sure many more thousands will participate this year. We have hundreds of events coming up, so please do check out the website, getyourgreenon.org, and all of the social media. And remember, on May 16th, please wear green to show your support. Thank you.
Maybe, do you guys want to step up a little bit and let everybody get behind you? So while they're doing their photo, next proclamation is declaring May 2024 as National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. And I'm happy to be proclaiming this as a newly inducted member into the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame. And as a professional golfer for over 30 years, sports has always been my goal, my passion, and having our children healthy is number one. So I would like to, we got some people taking a photo over here that are actually coming over here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the melanoma proclamation that we're going to do. So we are also going to be declaring May 6, 2024 as Melanoma Monday, that was yesterday, but also May 2024 as Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Debbie Schwartzberg is the founder of the RDK Melanoma Foundation is here. Zach Barrett, I didn't see Janique. No, okay. So we are declaring May 6, 2024 as Melanoma Monday and May 2024 as Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas melanoma is a deadly form of skin cancer that affects over 100,000 people and leads to over 8,200 deaths annually, and whereas education about the prevention and early detection of skin cancer can significantly decrease the incidence of melanoma and save lives, and whereas residents of Palm Beach County may be particularly vulnerable to melanoma because we are located in the southern region of the United States, where there is increased exposure to the sun's potentially harmful UV radiation, And whereas the Richard David Kahn Melanoma Foundation recognizes Monday, May 6, 2024 as Melanoma Monday, Melanoma Awareness Day, and whereas the American Academy of Dermatology Association recognizes each May as Skin Cancer Awareness Month, which is devoted to raising awareness of the most common cancer in the United States. And whereas Palm Beach County has a substantial interest in promoting the health and wellness of its citizens and is committed to educating them about the prevention and early detection of melanoma and all forms of skin cancer. And whereas residents are encouraged to adopt the following sun-safe habits: always apply a mineral-based skin-safe sunscreen lotion with an SPF of 30 or higher, at least 15 minutes before exposure to the sun. When possible, wear long-sleeve clothing and wide-brim hats and sunglasses when spending prolonged periods of time outdoors. Avoid peak sunlit hours, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., when the sun's UV rays are most intense. Seek shade when available. Get checked by a dermatologist at least once a year, and stay aware of any new or developing moles or blemishes on your skin. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners assembled in regular session this day, May 2024, that May 6th, 2024 and May 2024 in Palm Beach County are hereby proclaimed Melanoma Monday and the Skin Cancer Awareness Month. And I am happy to have served as your MC for the last couple of years for your annual luncheon. Hope to do that again in the future if you ask me. But I'm going to bring up the founder of the RDK Melanoma Foundation, who's named after her brother.
Thank you very much, Maria, for being our longtime supporter. And thank you, County Commissioners, for supporting us. We do care deeply about the community's recognition of our service and our educational programs. Zach, thank you for being an outstanding director of our foundation. And May is an emotional month because it's the month my brother did die, and it's 27 years since my brother passed away. And we grew up in Miami Beach, and we got our sunburns there, and that's why we didn't know what to do about prevention and early detection of skin cancer and melanoma. So because of that, I stand here today and I ask all of you to please listen to what Maria read in that proclamation, which is to be aware of what it is to prevent and to early detect melanoma. I hope everybody this year, especially this month, goes to see their dermatologist and checks out their spots. Our foundation works very hard and has for 27 years to work on education to raise prevention and education awareness. More important than everything we do is what we do to focus on children in our schools and the Student Against Melanoma clubs, the sunblock dispensers we put all over the community and throughout other states, the art contests that we run throughout the state of Florida during the month of May so that children through art learn what it is to know the information about melanoma and skin cancer, and the projects that we do in individual communities around the country with baseball stadiums, with Mike Schmidt, with baseball and public parks and pools to make sure that sunblock dispensers are in as many areas as possible. If there's a community that can't afford them, we support it. If it's a community that can afford it, we help facilitate it. We are very proud of all the work that we do. We look forward to doing it for many more years. And thank you, Palm Beach County, for supporting us.
Restoration Bridge International Proclamation, RBI. RBI's mission is to honor and celebrate everyone by providing a hand up and improve quality of life with nutritious food. They believe no one should go without food, as I also believe, of course, we all believe it. I have had the opportunity on many occasions to work with Restoration Bridge International, and they have the food distribution operation down to a science. And it's a pleasure to serve our community with them. And with that, we have a very brief video we're going to show.
My name is Jason Mandel. I'm the Director of Operations of Restoration Bridge International. We impact food insecurity here in Palm Beach County. We do it on a very large scale. We gave away 8.9 million pounds of food last year. We do this only through the help of dedicated volunteers like Arate out here, serving the community. We're going to be adding food to about 400 families here this afternoon at Sandcastle Community Park in Lantana. So thank you very much.
Jason Mandel, Pastor Dan West, Tom Nadler, and Tom DeRita come on up, please. A proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, recognizing Restoration Bridge International for filling the gap between available food and those in need. Whereas Restoration Bridge International, or RBI, was founded by Pastor Daniel West in 2001 with one goal: to love our neighbors as ourselves. It started as a food pantry in a church closet. And whereas in 2005, Restoration Bridge International received its nonprofit status and began bridging the gap between available food and those in need. It started picking up, receiving and delivering in-kind food donations 5 days a week, and relocated to a warehouse facility and began its Saturday pantry and food distribution program. And whereas Pastor Dan is the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office's chaplain, RBI and PBSO teamed up to launch Families in Crisis. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, RBI fed more than 7,000 families per week, it now provides more than 500,000 pounds of nutritious food to over 50,000 adults and children monthly. And whereas in 2023, RBI redistributed 8.9 million pounds of food, impacting nearly 1 million individuals throughout Palm Beach County, with 41,000 volunteer hours and only 3% operating costs. 97% of donated resources go to help feed more than 100,000 individuals every month. And whereas, since its humble beginnings, it has rescued and redistributed 63 million pounds of food in Lake Worth, Boynton Beach, West Palm Beach Gardens, Green Acres, South Bay, Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Delray, Lantana, Jupiter, and anywhere that food is in need, that people are in need of nutritious food. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that the Board hereby recognizes Restoration Bridge International for filling the gap between available food and those in need. Thank you.
Thank you, County Commissioners. On behalf of our founder, Pastor Daniel West, our board members, Tom Nadler and Dr. Tom DeRita, we want to thank you for your recognition, all the hard work that we put into getting food to people that need food. We live in a county where upwards of 200,000 individuals are food insecure, and we're addressing that on a daily basis. I also want to publicly thank the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Rick Bradshaw for his partnership. Once again, thank you for the recognition.
All right, now we'll go back to the Sports Commission and the Physical Fitness Proclamation. So may I please have Tammy Fields, Emmanuel Perry, George Lindley, Jennifer Cirillo, Paul Connell, Jackie Lambert, O'Shea Lawrence, and anyone else who wants to join us, who's physically fit or wants to be. I went for physical therapy yesterday. I don't know, my neck is a little sore. So, come on, George. Walk on down. Emmanuel, thanks for staying this long. So this is a proclamation declaring May 2024 as National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. Whereas National Physical Fitness and Sports Month is an initiative of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. And whereas since 1983, every U.S. president has declared May as National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. And whereas a regular physical activity is important for maintaining lifelong health, reducing stress, lowering chronic disease risk, and alleviating symptoms of anxiety and depression. And whereas participation in youth sports helps children and teens stay active while developing important skills such as leadership, time management, teamwork, and relationship building. And whereas Palm Beach County has been recognized as one of the top sports destinations in the United States by the Sports Business Journal, and whereas the Palm Beach County Sports Commission hosted 196 regional, national, and global sports events last year, providing opportunities for residents and visitors while encouraging active lifestyle. And whereas the positive economic impact of sports tourism facilitated by the Commission exceeded $300 million, supporting more than 22,000 jobs created in the sports, recreation, arts, and entertainment sectors. And whereas the Palm Beach County Sports and Recreation Department is a strong Palm Beach County Sports Commission ally, transforming the Palm Beaches into Florida's most diverse and enriched sports community, providing venues for over 40 regional and national events, generating 40,000 nights, hotel room nights, and $30 million in visitor spending on an average annual basis. Whereas the Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation Department is a National Gold Medal Award winner with 110 park facilities where everyone plays regardless of age or ability. And whereas just 5 or more minutes of physical activity daily, such as walking, cycling, dancing, or playing a sport, can help everyone enjoy the physical benefits that we all have. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners on Palm Beach County, Florida, National Physical Fitness and Sports Month this May 2024. It's my pleasure. All right, who wants to talk?
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Mayor, Commissioners. Physical fitness, the reason we were over there for mental health is mental fitness, physical fitness are closely tied together. I know sports played a critical role in your life, in my life as well, playing collegiate basketball. It makes the difference in so many people's lives, but you don't need to be an elite athlete to be physically fit. You just need to get out and walk or dance, like you said today. We're sitting a lot today, so I encourage everybody at some point today, get up and dance. And I want to thank my team, Jackie Lambert and Shane Lawrence, who are here, that facilitate sports across the county for all ages, all abilities. Everyone's welcome in our park system. And I know George has a few really great sports awards and facts to share with you, maybe, and about your team. Some really exciting stuff going on with the Sports Commission, and it's our pleasure to partner with them and the entire community. And thank you for your support, Administrator Baker and Tammy as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, Mayor and the Board of County Commissioners and County Administrator Baker. It's an honor to serve the sports tourism industry for the Palm Beaches. Our #1 partner is Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation. They're the largest provider of venues for sports on a regional and national and global level. And we could not be successful without the friendship that we have with Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation. We were, as a destination, recognized as a top 5 sports destination in the United States without a Big 5 team. That's your NBA, MLB, NFL, MLS, and NHL. But we were recognized. Also, the state of Florida was recognized as the largest provider of economic impact through sports tourism, and there's no doubt that this county is a big reason why the state is #1. And this is not possible without the Board of County Commissioners, without our county administrator for years, who've provided a great deal of support to our Sports Commission and a great deal of support to the sports landscape. And you've wanted sports to be a part of this county's identity, and there's no doubt that it's a major part of who we are. And I'm grateful for my team, for our Board of Directors, and for, again, County Parks and Recreation and all they do for us. So thank you very much.
While they take pictures, I'm going to, for Nurses Week, I would like to call up Captain Kraus, Marites Quinto, Stephanie Lamana, Connie Upshaw, Mara Raggi, Alba Sanchez, Cynthia Tagliaferri, forgive me if I pronounce that wrong, Lucian Mendonca, Sally Chester, Monica, we're going to leave that at Monica, Merlene Ramnon. And please, again, forgive the mispronunciations. We are here today declaring May 6th through May 12th, 2024 as Nurses Week. Whereas registered nurses in the United States constitute our nation's largest healthcare profession. Whereas the depth of registered nursing profession meets the different and emerging healthcare needs of the American population in a wide range of settings. Whereas the American Nurse Association, the voice for registered nurses in this country, is working to chart a new course for a healthy nation that relies on increasing access to primary and preventive health care and better utilization of all our nation's registered nursing resources. Whereas professional nursing is an indispensable component of the safety and quality of care of hospitalized and non-hospitalized patients. Whereas the demand for registered nursing services will be greater than ever because the aging American population, emerging health challenges, continuing expansion of life-sustaining technologies, and the explosive growth of healthcare services. Whereas more qualified registered nurses will be needed in the future to meet the increasingly complex needs of healthcare consumers. Whereas the cost-effective, safe, and high-quality healthcare services provided by registered nurses will be an increasingly important component of our healthcare delivery system in the future. Whereas the American Nurses Association and Florida Nurses Association recognize Nurses Week with the theme, Nurses Make the Difference, to honor the varying roles of nurses and their positive impact on our lives. Whereas residents of Palm Beach County are encouraged to celebrate registered nurses' accomplishments and efforts to improve our healthcare system and show their appreciation, not just during this week, but at every opportunity throughout the year. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, and assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May, 2024, that May 6th through 12th, 2024, in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Nurses Week. I'm going to let you speak for a minute, but a lot of people don't know in this room, this is very special. My grandmother was a nurse for over 40 years, serving 20 of those over at JFK Hospital. So it is my honor to be able to present this to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and especially you, Commissioner Baxter. We really appreciate this honor today. And right here, you see the diversification of what the RN and nursing population is. We have representation here, not only with the military, but we have a dean in academia. We've got the president of the Florida Nurses Association here to help us. We have the director of nursing from the health department here, and we've got the clinical representation from your favorite place, JFK, HCA here, the clinical educator. They're all here to help us do this. So we go from the bedside all the way around. And every year from May 6th to Florence Nightingale's birthday, May 12th, is designated as National Nurse Week. National Nurse Week celebrates and acknowledges the diversity and specialty and hard work that the nurses put in to making their patients feel comfortable. And this year, 2024, the theme for Nurse Week is Nurses Make the Difference. This was selected to encourage nurses, individuals, employees, and other healthcare professionals and community leaders just like you all here right now to promote the vast contributions and positive impact of the 5.2 million American nurses, and Florida ranks third with 187,920 active nurses, and Palm Beach County has 27,000 of those licensed nurses here. Remember, nursing is the science and the art of health and wellness. Nurses are the healthcare specialists. Many of us all here are certified in our specialty. We are essential to every healthcare setting: hospitals, nursing homes, public health, faith community centers, patients' home. But the very core of nursing, caring for the patients, remains unchanged. Nurses bring a special compassion and concern for the patient and for the patient's family, no matter where they are or at what level they're practicing. They hold fast to that special covenant that we have with the people of Florida and Palm Beach County and play a vital role in educating people on how to prevent illness and promote good health. Nurses are essential not only to every healthcare setting, but to every person's health. Thank you so much for this honor today. We appreciate it. Want to say something, Madam President?
Good morning. We'll make it brief. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Board of Commissioners, my name is Maria Etienne. I am a professor of nursing from Miami-Dade College, Benjamin Leon School of Nursing, and I am the president of the Florida Nurses Association. The mission of the Florida Nurses Association is really to advance the nursing profession and also to promote a healthy Florida. So thank you for this honor. Thank you for acknowledging the Southeast region nurses. We're very happy. They do make a difference. God bless you.
Okay, while they do their picture, I'm going to call up the attendees for the Building Safety Month proclamation. Doug Wise, Michael Gauger, Afet McIntosh, Robert Hemp, Alberto Olmo, Steve Coots, Mac Medji, Michael Schubert, Jan Rodriguez, Dennis Perez, Dave Collado, Christopher Henry, Michael Carter, Dave Dorita, and anyone else I might have missed. Good morning. Before I start, thank you for what I'm about to read. Thank you for keeping us all safe and working on that. This is a proclamation declaring May 2024 as Building Safety Month. Whereas Palm Beach County is committed to recognizing our growth, and strength depends on the safety and economic value of the homes, buildings, and infrastructure that serve our citizens in everyday life and in times of natural disasters. And whereas our confidence in the structural integrity of the buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas dedicated members of the Palm Beach County Building Division and Fire Rescue Department implement and enforce the highest quality codes to protect residents in the buildings where they live, work, and play. And whereas our community benefits economically from the Florida Building Code and Florida Fire Prevention Code, which help protect the public from natural disasters such as hurricanes, wildfires, and floods. We don't want any of those this year, please. Whereas the 2024 Building Safety Month theme, Mission Possible, encourages all Americans to raise awareness of the importance of building safety, fire prevention, disaster mitigation, and recognizes that countless lives have been saved due to the implementation of safety codes by local and state agencies. And whereas Building Safety Month promotes the commitment of local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies to improve building safety in the community and acknowledge the essential service they provide to all of us in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May 2024, that May 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Building Safety Month. Thank you.
I want to thank the commissioners, administration. These are your building safety staff, fire marshals there, electrical inspectors, mechanical. Everybody's here. They work day in, day out to keep everybody safe. Thank you.
While they take pictures, for National Water Safety Month, if I could please get Tammy Fields, Jennifer Cirillo, Paul Connell, John Meskill, at Kelly McConchie, Commanding Officer Richard Seymour, and the PBSO Marine Unit. So today, we declare May as National Water Safety Month. Whereas Florida recognizes May as Water Safety Month and Palm Beach County recognizes it locally. Whereas our world-renowned beaches and waterways serve as recreational resources, attracting millions of people each year. Whereas the dangers of an aquatic environment, particularly the ocean's rip currents, can be effectively managed through public awareness and the vigilance of professional lifeguards. Whereas the Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation Department features 15 boat ramp parks, 14 oceanfront beach parks, and 3 waterway inlet beaches staffed by ocean rescue personnel who provide drowning prevention, water rescue, and emergency medical response, serving nearly 6 million beach patrons annually. Whereas for the public safety, an annual reminder of the potential hazards associated with aquatic environments is appropriate at the beginning of the busy summer season for beachgoers and recreational boaters. Whereas residents and visitors alike must remember to never swim alone. Always swim near a lifeguard, never drink alcohol before swimming or boating, respect the power of the surf, and learn to swim from a qualified instructor. Whereas with May 18th through the 24th, 2024 being National Safe Boating Week and May 20th to 27th being National Beach Safety Week, it is fitting to declare May as the National Water Safety Month. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that May 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed National Water Safety Month.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, particularly Commissioner Baxter. Thank you for being such an advocate for water safety and drowning prevention. It's so important. We have some of our unsung heroes here today that are active on the water every day. I want to thank PBSO and Marine Unit. Captain Rossi is amazing. Also, the United States Coast Guard, our commanding officer of our Lake Worth Station is here, Richard Seymour. We got him off a boat today to be here with us. And I want to quickly just turn it over to our ocean rescue captain. A lot of people don't know that life-saving first responder service we provide on the beaches every day. These are incredible open water professionals. And John, Chief Meskel, if you'll say a few words, please.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, members of the board, thank you very much in joining us and declaring this Water Safety Month and expressing the messages of never swimming alone, always swim near a lifeguard on a guarded beach, and wear your sunscreen. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, friends and family, thanks for inviting me out today to be a part of this proclamation. I get the privilege of leading some of this country's finest men and women to keep us safe in Palm Beach County. Growing up in Palm Beach County, I know how beautiful a resource we have with the water, but 20 years of experience in the Coast Guard also has taught me what dangers that water brings. So I urge everybody to check your safety equipment, to ensure that you educate yourself about the water and stay safe out there. So, Semper Paratus, God bless.
Okay, I'd like to call up the attendees for Tara Enterprises. Lou Ella Jordan, Tara Moten, Daryl Benton, Sean Pittman, Michael Price, Brian Barnett, Andrew Lucci, James Houston, Wayne Richards, Bibi Hafsa, Jose Montez, Anita Green, Naomi Lopez, Amanda Cooper, Wendy Burns, Winston Burns, and anyone else who'd like to come celebrate. Is it Tara? It is Tara, okay. Let me make sure. Okay. This proclamation is recognizing Tara Enterprises, Inc. for 40 years of commitment to Palm Beach County. Whereas in 1984, Lou Ella Jordan established her airport concessions business, JL Unlimited, when Palm Beach International Airport was seeking minority participation in the retail gift shop in its Delta Airlines concourse. And JL Unlimited became the first minority concession owner in the airport. And whereas Jordan's daughter, Tara L. Moten, joined JL Unlimited when she was a teenager, and subsequently established Tara Enterprises, Inc. in 1998 to keep the family business going. And whereas Tara Moten, Luella Jordan, and the rest of the Tara Enterprises team scaled the single-store business into a multi-state enterprise operating in Palm Beach, Miami, Atlantic City, and JFK International Airports. And whereas Tara Enterprises welcomes travelers from around the world to Palm Beach County and for decades has given back to the community in various ways and currently serves as president of the board of HomeSafe, a nonprofit protecting some of the county's most vulnerable residents, victims of child abuse and domestic violence. She also co-founded Girls to Women and serves as president. This volunteer organization is committed to helping teenage girls in underserved South Florida communities break the cycle of poverty through education, motivation, and mentorship. And whereas Luella Jordan served for 6 years, 2 of those as chair, on the Palm Beach County Minority Women Business Enterprise Advisory Committee. In 2004, she was one of the first individuals appointed by the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners to the Small Business Advisory Committee, designated for a certified Black business owner. And Tara Moten has earned honors, including the 2007 African American Achievers Award, the 2011 Ascension Zenith Award, and the 2016 Excalibur Award for a small business leader in Palm Beach County. And Luella Jordan earned the 2015 African American Achievers Award. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of 2024, that the board recognizes Tara Enterprises, Inc. for 40 years of commitment to Palm Beach County.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, to the mayor, vice mayor, and the entire commission. I want to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to minority and women-owned businesses. In 1984, you gave a young Black woman from Belgrade, Florida, who grew up as a farm labor worker, the opportunity to elevate her family. I want you to know that she took that very seriously. I've taken it very seriously. We have worked really hard. We have sacrificed, but we never forgot to pay it forward. That is why we have mentored other minority businesses and women-owned businesses in this county. That is why we have mentored hundreds of girls from Belle Glade, Pahokee, and throughout the county to give them an opportunity to be an example of what's possible. So I stand here today with my beautiful mother who celebrated 80 years of life on yesterday. I am here with a beautiful, beautiful tribe that includes my partner, HMS host. We have Mr. Darrell Benton here. He is the Executive Vice President of Development for HMS Hosts. Our partners have given us an amazing opportunity to scale our business into other states, which has helped us help others in this community. I am happy to have a dear friend and someone who has served as my lobbyist for many, many years, my Suncoast High School Charger classmate, Sean Pittman. I want to give a special thanks to Commissioner Bernard. You have supported our business forever. To Administrator Baker, in her absence, I want to let her know probably for every year we've been in business, every year she has supported us, helped us overcome challenges, and just been there to love us, and we appreciate that. I want to say thank you to our beautiful family that is here, to our employees and our staff. One of the things that is very important to us being here in Palm Beach County is to be able to provide jobs and opportunities for people to elevate their family and give them the opportunity that you've given to us. So I want to say thank you. We consider Palm Beach County the best place to live and the best place to do business. We're so excited and proud to call it home. Thank you so much. She's good.
Have a good rep.
So next up, while they take pictures, we have National Spelling Bee Day. So if Anne Marie Dilbert, Principal Dilbert, excuse me, if Whitley Valerie, Carlene Estime, Adeline Nicholas, Amy Acosta, and Dana Palaria, Ebony Butler, Lisa Butler, and Carl Butler would please join me. Good morning. So we are declaring May 7th, 2024 a Spelling Bee Day. Whereas in 1909, the School District of Palm Beach County was established and began providing an educational system for our youth, becoming the 10th largest school district in the country. Whereas literacy and communication skills are fundamental to success in education and life. Whereas the annual Spelling Bee event that takes place in district schools provides students with the chance to expand their vocabulary, amplify their spelling abilities, and develop confidence in public speaking. Whereas the Spelling Bee not only promotes friendly competition between students, but also fosters important life skills such as study habits, discipline, and sportsmanship. Whereas the School District of Palm Beach County and the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners recognizes the combined efforts of teachers, parents, and volunteers who support our students in their academic missions. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that May 7th in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Spelling Bee Day.
I want to say thank you to the Palm Beach County Commissioners for inviting me here to this board meeting. And I want to say good morning to everyone here. My name is Whitley Valerie, and I'm in 5th grade. And a while ago, I won the spelling bee, which I'm very proud of. And y'all look nice today. Thank you. I also go to Cross Point Elementary, which is my favorite school ever, probably the best one. And also at my school, we have this special system called the house system, where there are 4 groups, and students and teachers are divided into groups, and we have a competition where we give house points and see which house can get the most points and win the championship. And also, this is my principal, Miss Amory, my mom, Carlene Estime. My auntie's here, but I wonder where she went. So, yeah.
She's here.
Oh, I got you. So, can I give the mic? Of course. I want to give the mic to Miss Anne Marie Dilbert, my principal.
Good morning. I don't know if I could top that. This is one of my proud students at Cross Point Elementary. Whitley is a house leader. We are in the House of Altruismo. Thank you so much for recognizing our students. You have no idea how much this means to them, the teachers, the family. So thank you so much on behalf of Palm Beach County School District. Thank you.
As they're taking a picture with Mr. James Green, Dr. James Green, Betty Legrand, and Wilnita Emmanuel, please come forward.
Should run for office, it'd be good. Maria, what we're going to do.
This morning, it's an honor to present the declaration declaring May 2024 as Haitian American Heritage Month. It is so great to see this young gentleman speaking in front of us because I know that the students at Cross Point Elementary School, I've been there, and seeing him, I know that he's going to eventually replace me and take me out. So it brings me joy and honor that he will do that. Whereas Haitian American Heritage Month is a jubilant celebration in the United States embracing Haitian heritage and culture, and whereas first celebrated in Boston, Massachusetts in 1988, Haitian Heritage Month is now observed nationwide in May with parades, festivals, and school activities. And whereas Haitian American Heritage Month salutes Haitian and Haitian American communities and shows appreciation for the culture and heritage that has immeasurably enriched the lives of the people of this nation. And whereas as health and human service providers, educators, authors, community leaders, activists, athletes, artists, musicians, and politicians, Haitian Americans have made their mark in every facet of society and have contributed to the betterment and diversity of the nation. And whereas Haitian Flag Day on May 18th marks the anniversary of the flag's adoption in 1803 and celebrates the culture and heritage of the Haitian flag, honoring forefathers and replenishing the resolve for Haiti's future. And whereas our communities have thrived with blended groups of immigrants, united by common values and the promise of a better tomorrow. And whereas the Haitian community in Palm Beach County started a Haitian celebration in 2001 that contributed greatly to making Haitian Heritage Month first a statewide celebration and then a national one. And whereas all residents are encouraged to honor this observance and to remember that America's greatness lies in its diversity. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session the 7th day of May 2024, that May 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Haitian American Heritage Month. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Bernard, to the mayor, vice mayor, commissioners. Thank you so very much for issuing this proclamation. I am proud to be the leader of one of the most diverse departments in Palm Beach County, and we believe in embracing diversity and utilizing that to learn about different cultures and how to communicate to different cultures and to assess the needs so that we can support them to the best of our ability. And so thank you for this proclamation today. And Betty is going to say a few words.
Thank you for having us. And then I am so proud and glad that on behalf of the Haitian community in Palm Beach County, and also on behalf of all the employees, community services, all the Haitian one, we want to say thank you. And I'm very honored to be here.
While they take pictures, if you are here for Palm Beach County Senior Health and Fitness Day, would you please come forward? So this is declaring May 29th, 2024 as Palm Beach County Senior Health and Fitness Day. Whereas the United States Surgeon General has declared that regular physical activity results in significant health benefits and improved quality of life for older adults. Whereas National Senior Health and Fitness Day is a nationwide event that promotes the importance of regular physical activity and showcases what local organizations are implementing to improve the health and fitness for older adults. Whereas the Palm Beach County Community Services Department Division of Senior and Veteran Services provides innovative programs that help our older adults stay healthy, active, engaged, and independent. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the 7th day of May, 2024, that May 29th, 2004, in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Palm Beach County Senior Health and Fitness Day.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here this morning on behalf of our 3 senior centers, Community Services Department, and the Division of Senior and Veteran Services. Commissioners, Mayor, Vice Mayor, my name is Hugo Montenegro. I'm the manager at the North County Senior Center in Palm Beach Gardens. On Wednesday, May 29, 2024, the National Senior Health and Fitness Day will celebrate its 31st anniversary as the nation's largest older adult health and wellness event. On this date, more than 1,000 organizations across the United States will host local events for over 100,000 plus older adults across the country on the same day. Its goals are to keep older Americans healthy and fit and to showcase what local organizations are doing in their communities to promote the senior health and wellness. Studies show that 1 in 3 older adults has a fall each year, and falls are the main reason why older adults lose their independence. With people in the U.S. aging better and living longer, older adults are one of the fastest growing age groups in the country. In fact, according to the National Council on Aging, 80.8 million Americans will be 65 plus in 2040, more than twice as many as in 2000. At each 3 Palm Beach County senior centers, staff partners with individuals, local organizations, and nonprofits to promote a healthier lifestyle for our most vulnerable aging population. Please join us as we celebrate National Senior Health and Fitness Day to promote independent living and an overall better quality of life for one of the fastest growing populations here in Palm Beach County. Thank you.
As they're taking the pictures, I'd like to know, do we have any Zetas in the house? Any Zetas in the house? All right, they're here. All right. Would the president and the team please come forward? President Leola Horton and the members of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority. It's an honor this morning to recognize June 1st, 2024 as the 75th chapter day of the anniversary of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc., a Delta Epsilon Zeta chapter. Whereas Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc. was founded on January 16, 1920 at Howard University with the principles of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. It was chartered in West Palm Beach on June 1st, 1949 as the Delta Epsilon Zeta, DEZ chapter, and is dedicated to being a community-conscious, action-oriented organization. And whereas founding members were Ann H. Brewer, Elizabeth Stubbs Munnings, Gertrude Utse, Janie Coleman, Miles Green, and Panchetta Harrison Leverita. DEZ has one living original chapter member, Mrs. Elizabeth Munnings. And whereas DEZ is the mother chapter producing several graduate chapters serving Palm Beach County, and whereas the DEZ chapter has formed various community-based partnerships over the past 75 years in Palm Beach County, whereas administering Z Hope initiatives, providing financial assistance to local charitable organizations, or awarding scholarship assistance through the Zeta Dove Education Foundation, Inc., the organization does so with the understanding that service to the community is the greatest legacy. Participants strive to positively impact lives for generations to come. And whereas over the years, the DEZ chapter, in conjunction with the Zeta Dove Education Foundation, has awarded roughly $20,000 in scholarships to deserving graduating seniors residing in West Palm Beach area who are pursuing a higher education. The chapter also supports many charitable organizations. And whereas DEZ chapter members and auxiliaries provide services to the community and sponsor an undergraduate chapter at Florida Atlantic University and 5 auxiliary groups for children and adults, including the Perlettes, Emisets, the Zeta Male Network, Arcanets, and Amici. I hope I'm saying it right. Amici. And whereas in recognition of this year's Charter Day, the chapter is celebrating its 75th Diamond Jubilee on June 1st, 2024. And whereas Palm Beach County recognizes the contributions that Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Inc., Delta Epsilon Zeta chapter, has made in our community and honors this organization on its 75th charter anniversary. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this 7th day of May 2024, that June 1st, 2024 in Palm Beach County is hereby recognized as the 75th Chapter Day anniversary of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Inc., Delta Epsilon Zeta Chapter. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and all of the County Commissioners. On behalf of the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Delta Epsilon Zeta, we want to say thank you for providing us this proclamation this morning. We are, as it has been stated, a community-conscious, action-oriented organization. As we continue to serve our community and excel and support those who are in need, we want to say thank you for this proclamation. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. I'd like to have a round of applause for my colleagues who did all these proclamations today. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Thank you so much. We're going to move right now on to the regular agenda, and we are going to reorder the regular. Mr. Bonlaren, Todd. Oh, he doesn't hear me. Okay, right here. We're going to delay. We're going to reorder the regular agenda because we have a 2 p.m. Matters by the Public that we must hear. So we're going to delay your presentation, Mr. Bonlaren, and move right on to housing on the regular agenda, which is the next programmed 5B1. I would like to recognize David Noguera. Could you stand, please? Is David Noguera here? Very good, sir. I'd like to recognize you. I want everyone to know Mr. Noguera is the Director for HUD's South Florida Community Planning and Development Programs. You've been of great assistance to us here in Palm Beach County in our housing needs, and I look forward to your continued assistance for all of us. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Thank you. Now, we are going to move quickly through this because we have a long agenda, and I know that we also have matters by the public that will remain at 2 p.m. At this time, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Bernard. What I would suggest, Commissioner Bernard and Mr. Brown, that we have you go through the whole program, then we will go back and vote on the various subtitles. So with that, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Bernard.
Madam Mayor, you stated what I was going to ask. Thank you.
Because I know what you're thinking, Commissioner Brown. So with that, who would like to start? Mr. Brown, would you like to, or Tammy, Ms. Fields?
I'll get started. Good morning.
Good morning.
Still Mayor. It's still morning. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, I'm Tammy Fields, Assistant County Administrator. At the table this morning is Sherry Brown, Director of OFMB, Howard Falcon from the County Attorney's Office, Jonathan Brown, and Sherry Howard, I do have her name right this time, Jeff Bolton, and Carlos Serrano from HED. And I'm glad you already recognized our
Mr.
new HUD
Nogara.
liaison.
We're going to move professionally. I didn't say quickly. I didn't say swiftly. I said professionally through the entire housing development issues, and then we'll go back and vote on them individually.
Right.
You're recognized.
So we're very excited to be presenting the next several items to you. The board has identified housing as one of your strategic priorities over the last several years, and our residents likewise during the survey that you all had in January, and the voters with the housing bond have recognized the need for affordable and workforce housing. If you combine the items that you already approved on the consent agenda with the items that we'll be presenting now, we're addressing over 1,100 affordable or workforce units on this agenda today.
1,100 units.
Yes.
Good. That's good.
In my 34 years with the county, I don't think that's ever happened. So, and before I turn it over to the HCD staff for their presentation, I really do want to acknowledge the work of the HED staff to be able to bring forward this number of units in one agenda is really remarkable. So I will turn it over to Mr. Brown.
You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Tammy. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator Baker, thank you so much for allowing us to come to share today. We're so excited about all of the projects that we're going to present today, and we'll get into the first one. The first one is from our Village of Valor. This is a project that was initially approved by the county back in 2019. Roughly at that time, the project was going to cover 2 different cities, over 150 units, and now as the project, as time has gone on and we've seen some changes in costs and other situations have occurred, the project has downsized to 54 units. It is a project that will provide preference to veterans and their families, and we are seeking today the Board of County Commissioners approval to support or provide continued support for this project that has adjusted its total numbers to be provided. Initially, the board approved $2 million, and the Village of Valor is back requesting that $2 million in order to help this project move forward.
Go right ahead.
And so that's the first item, and now we'll move on to the housing bond items. Okay.
You're recognized, sir. Go right ahead.
And I want to thank Commissioner Bernard, Administrator Baker, all of you all, even the community that's helped us as we've worked this housing bond program. Our friends at the Economic Council, Housing Leadership Council, and others as part of this process. And so we're all aware, in November of 2002, the voters approved a housing bond, GO bond, in the amount of $200 million. We have, within that housing bond process, there were 3 things that we were looking at. The ability to assist for sale housing, the ability that's affordable to workforce, the ability to assist multifamily rental that's affordable, and the ability to assist workforce housing multifamily. And so we've started the process, and by no means are we finished with the process. Today, we're coming to the Board of County Commissioners for conceptual approval, and I want to make sure we're clear on the fact that it's a conceptual approval today of all projects. After we receive whatever decision the board makes in terms of projects for conceptual approval, the next step in the process is to deliver these projects to the third-party underwriters that have been selected by the county so they can do a deeper dive into the projects and to make sure that all of the numbers that we have we're all in agreement. And once we do that, the third-party underwriters are going to provide us with a report. That report will then come back to the Board of County Commissioners, and at that time, we will be bringing terms for each of the projects that we're recommending, and then the board will ultimately make a final decision then. And so today is really to secure conceptual approval, because once the projects are transmitted to the third-party underwriters, then those project developers will begin incurring costs. So the first RFP we're going to start with today, and as we mentioned earlier, staff issued 3 separate RFPs targeting different eligible activities within the housing bond program. And the first one we're going to start with today is for the for sale housing. We received one responsive proposal. That request is for $1.6 million. The period of affordability, as you can see, will be in perpetuity, and this is a project located in District 3. You will see a couple things, is that one, it's an 8-unit housing for sale project. You'll see that the sales price for these housing units will not exceed $185,000, targeting those in our county that are looking for home ownership and they meet that 80% or below requirements. The other thing that is of interest here is that because this is a for sale project, if approved, these dollars will come back to the county in 3 years, no longer than 3 years, or when the units are sold, but not to exceed 3 years. And here you'll see how the financing of this project breaks out. The next RFP we're presenting today are for our workforce housing proposals, and we're bringing forward 3 recommendations today. Workforce housing, multifamily rental will target those that are between 60 and 140% of the area median income. The first project proposal is Gallery at Sunset Park. Their request is $17 million. Their ask is for a 40-year affordability period on the county restricted units. This is a project located in District 7, and you'll see the number of units and then the AMIs that this project will target. As a note, the county investment per unit is there, and the housing bond is a 20-year repayable loan, and this project will have either between a 1% and 3% interest rate. The second project is the residence at Lake Worth. At Lake Worth Beach, their funding request is $17.16 million, and this project will have a 50-year affordability period. This is also a project located in District 3. You will see that there is 195 units, and that the county will have a restriction on 156 of those units. And the total county investment would not exceed $110,000 per unit. Again, terms not to exceed 20 years on the repayment with an interest rate between 1% and 3%. And then the third and final project we're recommending under the workforce housing multifamily rental is the residence at Marina Village. The request for this project is $4.7 million with a period of affordability of 60 years. This project too is located in District 7. The total number of units for this project is 148, with 118 of those units as county restricted units, with the same terms of a 20-year repayment and an interest rate not to exceed it'll be between 1% and 3%. Okay? And for those projects, if you approve those workforce housing multifamily rental projects, this is just an overview of those 3 projects in totality. And the ultimate total project leveraging as well as the average per unit costs. Staff recommended, there was another proposal submitted by a project sponsor, Riviera Beach Housing Authority, and it was the Judge Rogers Court. That project did not score well within the selection committee, and the selection committee did not recommend it. That project protested, and the protest was reviewed and denied. But we think it's a project that, as it moves forward and it meets certain milestones, would definitely be a project that would want to come back to seek Board of County Commissioners funding. And this is just some basic information about that Judge Rogers project. Located in District 7, $13 million request, 150 units, where 111 of those units will be county assisted. Some of the outstanding issues that identified by staff are here with regards to the property itself, with regards to the zoning, the platting, and other things that we feel were not in place, including the funding commitments. There were two projects that were submitted that did not qualify or meet the terms of the housing bond. And we had talked about this before because the primary funding for these projects was FHA. FHA requires a 40-year term on their product. And as a result, with the county being subordinate financing, they would not allow a term less than their 40 years. So the housing bond wouldn't work. As we talked about this a couple months ago, the county has been setting aside ad valorem funds known as our Housing Initiative Program. And although the project did not meet the requirements of the bond program, we do think it is a candidate for funding within the Housing Initiatives Program. One of the projects located in District 6, 1 North Lake, request is for $4,650,000. And the period of affordability for this project would be 30 years on their request. When we compare that to what the HIP program requirements are, HIP program would require a minimum of 50-year affordability period on the county assisted units within the project. And so we're presenting this project to the board today for consideration. 54 total units. The individuals and families served will be at 120% or below AMI, and it would be a repayable loan with a term equal or greater than 40 years. We just need to, if approved, we would need to work with FHA to just confirm whether we can do an equal term or if our term needs to be a little bit longer than theirs in order for them to move forward. By moving this project over to HIP, it will be a repayable loan with, again, a recommendation of a 50-year affordability period. And this is how the funding on this project works out.
We're not recommending the grant.
And there is a grant that the county had already provided to this project that's here. Initially, the developer was looking for a grant of the 4.6, but staff is not recommending that. Staff is recommending a repayable loan for a for-profit developer. The second project that we would recommend funding under the Housing Initiative Program is the Westgate Terrace project. Their request is $3.2 million. Again, they requested 30 years under the bond, but if we were going to move this program to the Housing Initiative programs, we would need at least a 50-year affordability period on the county assisted units. The total number of units within this project will be 37. And again, this is how the financing of this project, the capital stack, works out. And then lastly, I want to bring to you the affordable housing multifamily rental projects that we received. There are 4 recommendations that staff is bringing forward today. The first one is for Calusa Point 2, located in District 6. 168 units where all of the units would be county assisted. There will be 126 units dedicated to those at 80% or below AMI, and you will have 42 units serving those at 50% or below AMI for an average county investment per unit of about $59,000, $60,000 on this particular project. This project too would be a repayable loan with an interest rate of 1%. and this is how the capital stack for this project works out. The second project, we discussed this a little earlier, was Village of Valor. Village of Valor came forward looking to get reauthorized to $2 million, but they also have applied for housing bond dollars. Their request of $8 million with a 40-year period of affordability. The project will take place or be located in Palm Springs within District 3. The county investment will be approximately $148,000 per unit for the 54 units, and we're looking at a 20-year term with an interest rate of 1%. Proposal number 3, Waterview Apartments, located in District 7, the town of Mangonia Park. The request for this project is $13.7 million, a senior housing project located in Mangonia Park, where 140 units will be created, all of which will be county assisted and restricted for a minimum period of 40 years. The project would receive a repayable loan with an interest rate of 1%, and here is the capital stack for this project. And proposal number 4, Isaiah Clark Apartments. The funding request is $22 million. This particular project was not recommended for funding by the selection committee, but upon appeal and a protest, the protest was upheld, and staff recommends funding this senior housing project located within District 7. The project would have a 30-year affordability period. They are creating 125, again, senior units for those that are at 80% or below AMI, with certain income targeting for those at 30% AMI. The county investment on this project is $176,000 per unit with a term of 20 years and an interest rate of 1%. And so, if the affordable housing projects are recommended today, this is how the leveraging of these projects look. You have $51 million in total requests with $184 million in a total project cost, approximately 500 units, 487 units being created for our affordable housing projects, with 2 of those projects targeting seniors. And again, we believe projects are worthy of county commission consideration. And then there was another project that was submitted by HTG Drexel, HTG in a partnership with Spectra, Palm Beach County Housing Authority. The project was not recommended for funding by the selection committee. They did issue a protest. Staff denied the protest. We're recommending and requesting the board to deny it, but allow staff to work with this particular developer. After the RFP process ended, we had conversations with all the developers where we weren't recommending approval, and they shared some information that was not part of the RFP, but we think would be of consideration if we can dig a little further. So we're recommending denial, but we're asking authorization to work with them. And if we can bring back a project that is similar to what the board's going to approve today, we'll bring it back for your consideration. And so, again, some basic information on the Drexel Senior Housing Project, $18 million request. And again, based on what we are able to do and the board decides today, the final information or slide will be worked out. But this is what the project request looked like in the proposal.
And you're done.
And we're just about done. And so again, just some issues for consideration.
I'm not pushing you.
Some things for consideration, and we spoke with the developer. We think that a couple things would have helped this project, which would have been adjusting the rental rates to be a little bit more affordable, as well as extending the affordability period. And I'll let that developer share more if they have any further comments, but I think they understand what we saw, what the selection committee saw that could have made this project, put it in a better position to be recommended for funding today. Okay. And so here are all the requests received today. Based on the projects that we're recommending for county commission approval, the housing bond projects, there are just under $92 million in projects. The two projects that were denied, if the board decided they wanted to approve those projects, that would be an additional $31 million for a total of approximately $123 million in bond funding. And then we have two additional projects that we're recommending through our HIP program. I'd like to thank all the developers for the time that they took on these projects. They did a really good job in presenting projects to address the housing need. And today we presented to the Board of County Commissioners, asking that the board approve staff recommendations, allowing us to transmit these to the third-party underwriter, and then bring back to you final terms that you can really consider as you make a decision on these projects being submitted today. And you'll have one item that will tie into us, which is our OFMB item, which actually is the issuance of the bonds.
Right, and so just a reminder.
Just identify yourself for the record.
Yep, Sherry Brown, OFMB Director. These are general obligation bonds. The voters did approve to issue up to $200 million worth of bonds. We're seeking to go ahead and issue those bonds in June. So we will have the funding available for these various projects when the terms are approved and things like that. And that would also allow us to add the millage rate associated with the debt service to our 2025 budget.
Very good. Okay. Ms. Attorney.
Just reminding the board to take time to do public comment.
Oh, I would never forget public comment. I have the cards here. But before we go on to public comment, I'd like to have any of my colleagues have any questions of the staff at this time. Commissioner Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. And not to put a damper on the celebrations from earlier, but I do have a few concerns with a few of the projects. But just to start out with, I was a citizen when this went to the voters, and I remember what was somewhat promised, or what was discussed as what this bond would do, and numbers like 20,000 units were floated, which seemed unreasonable at the time. And we can cycle through this money a few times and maybe get to this, but with this particular climate that we're in and the projects that we got, we're going to get 1,100 or so units with this for $127 million. If the numbers hold up for the full $200 million, we'll get approximately 1,500 units out of this. Is that right?
As the Commissioner, great point. As the projects continue to come in and leverage, depending on how they leverage, you could be somewhere around that amount, 1,500 or more.
Okay.
Based on the leveraging.
And it was also discussed that this would be gap financing, which I understood to be, 20-25% potential to help these projects get over the finish line. I think we only have two that would fall into that category. Some of them are as high as 48%. And when we discussed this in my agenda review, I asked, was there a percentage cap that we put on how much of the project could be funded by the bond? And I believe it was 50%.
Yes, ma'am.
Which honestly, I know that I guess it was on our October 3rd agenda, and I admit to missing it, that was part of it. I'm very concerned about us funding half of the projects. Some of these are well-stacked projects with multiple sources of funding, investors. Some of these, we are the primary lender. And we have one that sent us an email asking for that to go even higher. I know that's not on this agenda, but we received the email this morning. Can we address this, please?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Bernard, did you want to respond to that question?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Madam Mayor, this is a good question that you're asking in regards to, we have to put caps in because of the fact that when we did the bond allocation process, we didn't really know how it was going to work out. So I think that I know for me, I'd like for us as a board to go back to staff and work with the Housing Leadership Council and the Economic Council to create a cap and to create the amount, just some of these things that we're finding out now, we're going to have to create a cap so that way we can reduce the amount that we're putting as gap financing.
And just to add, and Commissioner, just a clarification, so we were doing up to 50% of the county assistant units. Some projects had more county assistance units as a percentage of their project than others. And where we see the difference is, as all of the developers who responded to the RFP are aware, if the county's permanent loan exceeds the amount of their other permanent loans, then the county is looking for first lien position so we can secure and protect the county's investment.
Okay, and so we have several in the affordable category, which, you know, I understand we may have to help more when it comes to the affordable units because we're keeping the rents low. And in the backup, the rents are on there, which I think in Drexel Road, maybe that was one where the rents weren't so high. But on the workforce, because this county has seen an influx, I think a lot of very high-paying jobs have come into the county, which has changed our AMI, and that's not our formula. That comes from HUD, as I understand it.
Yes, the AMI is determined by a formula that comes from HUD. And we've had the conversation with the former secretary, now retired of HUD. We've had the conversation with the state of Florida about adjusting the methodology, because the methodology of AMI is based on median family income, which is about 20% higher than median household income. Median household income is basically the index that HUD makes us use when determining eligibility for any individual. Median household income is about 20% less than median family income. And if that number was adjusted, that could bring some level of reductions in the rents, because it would adjust what the overall AMI is. Right now, the AMI for the county is approximately 104,000, I believe.
Yeah. So just so the rest of the board, I went into the backup. I was curious because I know we recently got an update for the numbers, and some of this had to be adjusted. And our, you know, I don't know which one this is, but 140% AMI. This is workforce is considered up to 140%. For a one-bedroom, the rents are $2,500 a month. For a two-bedroom, that's $3,039, and for a three-bedroom, that's $3,500 a month. That's what we're subsidizing to get the rents to, with 140%.
And Commissioner, if I might just say, in most of these projects, they did lower income targeting, so they didn't all do 140%. I don't think any of them did, and some of them even went lower than that. In addition, some did lower than the highest that they were allowed to charge on each of the AMI. So there was some attempt to try to make them lower, and each project actually did.
And even, let's go to 120%. I mean, that we're talking, it's between $2,200 and $3,000. That's at 120%. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we can't change the formula. The formula is what it is. And I even asked, you know, what if we were to have a recession? That, you know, it's always the potential for something like this to happen. And when the last recession hit in 2008, my question was, how quickly did AMI come back down? It did not come down. It actually went up, because a lot of working class people lost their jobs. So no income doesn't go into AMI, which means the AMI would go up. So if we were to have that happen in the future, these numbers are only going to get worse. Mm-hmm. And this is our bond. We're setting these rules. So can we not set 100% or 80%? Because if we have to deal with the formula that we can't control, then can we not lower the percentage to try to get the rents that would truly be affordable? I have a hard time understanding $2,500, $3,000 a month as being affordable, even at workforce rates.
Yes, ma'am. For the housing bond, we followed what was in the bond issuance that the voters approved. But the Board of County Commissioners, if you tell us that you want us to set a max on AMI, because again, we can on county assistant units we're not assisting, we can impact that. But if it's a county assistant unit, this board can give us direction and staff will carry that out.
Well, when it comes to us issuing this bond money to assist building these units, personal opinion, I think that we need to have them sharpen their pencils a little bit and bring down these rent rates, because we're already getting considerably fewer units than we were hoping for, and we're not necessarily getting the rents to affordable rates.
And one of the things we discuss, Commissioner, as a possibility, and I would need to work with the county attorney's office, but if units are sitting vacant and they're not being occupied, maybe there's an opportunity to have some sort of clause that allows us to require the rents be reduced so we can ensure that affordable and workforce housing units that are so needed aren't sitting vacant.
Well, so as far as what we're doing today, this is conceptual approval, and this, you told me that this will be going to a third-party underwriter. Yes. Is that just to give us hard numbers on whether or not these projects are viable, and can they repay the loans? What happens with underwriting?
That's going to be part of their process to look at that. We'll make sure that they also kind of right size, so we're not providing more than we need to provide to a project. They'll also provide some level of initial cost certification. We'll still have to do a cost certification once that project gets closer to actually beginning construction, and then they'll give us, the viability of the housing project.
But we would take, of course, any direction from the Board of County Commissioners and convey that to the third-party underwriter as well for them to use in their calculations.
And I do understand. I know when Commissioner Bernard began with this, I mean, the world has drastically changed, even in the past 2 years since the voters voted on this. Interest rates have gone, I mean, everything has changed. However, we have to deal in the reality of the world we're in at this moment. And if we're going to spend 65% of the bond to get 5% of the hopeful units, I'm very concerned about this. And if we're going to do that, I'm very concerned that the rents aren't truly affordable either. So my last question, if I may.
No, that's okay.
If we send this to underwriting, we have a budget item on here about pulling the bond. Does that mean that either way you will be issuing the bond and then we will decide what happens?
Well, yes, kind of, because it's got a millage rate. So to have the cash available to do these projects when the terms are done, I need to go ahead and issue so I can have a millage rate approved so I can pay the debt service for 2025. And we just have a short window this time because of the timing with the budget and adopting the millage rate. So you have to set a not to exceed by July 2nd is I think our budget, our board meeting that date. So that's what we're really working backwards from that date. So yeah, but we wouldn't spend the money until you have a contract and approved thing. So the bond proceeds could set aside for these types of projects until the projects come available, until their terms are done. You approve the terms.
When do the voters start paying it back?
They will start paying it back in fiscal year 25.
Even if we don't actually spend the bond money? Once we issue the bond, they begin paying it back?
Correct.
How long does underwriting take?
The underwriters have advised us that once they receive all the documents they're going to request from the projects, it'll take approximately 30 days.
That's all my questions for now.
That's okay.
May I
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner Beck.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner, what I'd like to add on is that we're also going to put requirements on the developer to turn in whatever is being asked for by the underwriters within 10 working days, so that we're not waiting months for information to come, so we can continue to move the project forward. And we will bring this back. We're dealing with very difficult circumstances right now. And yes, it is choking me up to recommend this level of funding. However, we desperately need these units to come on board. So we will be looking at it. We will continue to negotiate with our developers to see how we can further bring this down. And we heard you loud and clear. We'll be bringing back, or you give us direction today, we'll then adjust our bond requirements, our policies and procedures that will govern the bond, any bonds in the future, if that is the direction of this board.
Before we leave this issue, and I recognize Vice Mayor, actually Commissioner Baxter, and then Vice Mayor Marino, Commissioner Woodward, would you like to request that the issues that you brought up be addressed by staff before it's submitted conceptually?
If we could do that, I would very much appreciate that.
Would you be able to do that, Mr. Brown? I'm sure you would.
If the question that we're trying to address is whether or not we can have the developers reduce their rental rates, is that the primary gist of it?
One is the rental rates, and the other is the amount of the project. We are funding 30, 40, 48 high percentages of these projects. They should be stacked. There are some that are well stacked with tax equity investment, with private investment, with the bank loan. Some, we're almost the sole source. That's, and not just on the bond, because we have another project that has another source of funding that's coming from the county. So we're county subsidizing more than I believe we should on these projects. And can they not find other sources of funding to help?
Understood. So I think that one of the hurdles we would have to work through is that, so we have a proposal, we have a pro forma that's based on numbers. And so if we're asking all of them to go back and to change the numbers, I'm not sure how that impacts the RFP that we have issued or that they've responded to.
Well, could you pull up the residences of, what was that one called?
And that's the worst part.
Residences of Marina Village, is that the one?
That's the one that's got the only 120. They don't have any other.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why they have a circle.
I mean, I do know that some of that is state funding, tax equity, deferred development. I mean, that's, to me, a lot of collaboration that went into this project. It just on paper, looking at that, that's a well-stacked project, in my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. No, understood. Some projects were able to especially if it's, affordable and workforce, depending on the AMIs they're targeting, because there are other funding sources available. But if you're a traditional workforce project and you're greater than 60% of AMI, there isn't state tax credits or a lot of other funding options out there for that project. And so this one here residents at Marina Village did a great job in providing some other additional dollars. We see they're located obviously in the city of Riviera Beach, so the CRA was able to contribute. Most of the projects aren't going to be in a CRA or in other areas where the municipality will have the means to contribute. But this project absolutely did a great job in securing other dollars.
And their rental rates are ranging from $1,000 to $2,000.
And partly because they were able to secure the sale and the ELI dollars, and they have some tax credit equity, those types of projects. And we've done this, the board, you've approved projects like that in the past where the rental rates were low, affordable housing projects, but they were able to secure some dollars. We all know when it comes to the 9%, the 4% at the state level, especially at the 9%, it's competitive. Some projects or some developers are able to secure those dollars, others aren't. We have a project that was listed as one of ours that we, the county, the Board of County Commissioners recommended at the state level for the 9%, but in the competitive process, they weren't awarded. So they're coming back to the county, senior housing project, low AMIs. And so in those projects, we typically see the request a little bit higher than we would in other projects. Affordable, seniors, or even veteran type projects, there just aren't a lot of multiple sources for those developers to access. And so they'll come to us if they can't get those 9% or 4% credits.
And I understand this is our first attempt at this. This is new. It's a new allocation process, all of this. So, but my concern is, I think initially we thought we'd get $50 million worth of projects, so this came in considerably higher. But also, we're going to have to tighten up on the rents, and we have to, I think, lower the cap on the amount of the project we're going to fund
Yes, ma'am.
with the bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Even if they can stack it with other state funds, other funds, I understand that and I appreciate it, but the bond, taxpayers voted on that, they will begin paying it back next year. And I think we need to tighten it.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, thank you. Commissioner, I'm sorry, County Administrator Baker?
I'll wait.
Okay. Commissioner Baxter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, staff. I know you guys kind of started from scratch putting all this together, and so it's a work in progress, but I do share similar concerns as Commissioner Woodward. A few questions. So of all these, are there only 2? How many were for sale or for purchase?
There were 2 proposals submitted, 1 responsive.
So how many units will be getting out of that?
8.
8 total units, and then how many rentals? I guess how many total are for purchase in the entire 100 from the bond, and how many are for rent?
There's 8 for purchase.
8 for purchase.
And then
And we'll go to the
Slide.
And the 1,100 are for rent.
487 plus 5. What is your?
Oh, that was with all of them with the consent.
So we have a total of, between the consent and the items on the agenda today, I know there were over 1,100. 8 are for sale. And then with regards to the housing bond, we have
So the other 1,092 are for rent?
419 and then the
419 and 487, it's 906 units for rent plus the 8 for sale. And then there were other units
Yeah.
on consent. I'm not counting the HIP ones. Those are just the bond ones, is 906 plus 8.
So that is one of my concerns, especially on page 6, it looks like when they're for sale, we seem to get our money back within 3 years.
we get our money back when the units are sold to the
They're
home
sold.
buyers, right?
So it's built and sold, and then we get our money back and we can build more.
Yes.
And it's a revolving source. And I would really like us to find a way to, I'm not sure what's going on in the program, but to incentivize some for sale if we want that revolving. But to the point of what Commissioner Woodward said, I do like the idea of the cap, and I believe Commissioner Bernard agreed, but I would like potentially 2 separate caps. You know, if we're going to have affordable, you know, maybe we do need to subsidize a little bit more than the workforce housing if we're going to have caps, because then that way it truly makes it affordable. And I do agree, $2,500 to $3,500 a month. I have a hard time believing that's truly affordable. Right, and so if we are spending taxpayer dollars saying that we're going to have affordable living, we really need affordable living, and that isn't. And so to the point of, yes, caps, and if they can, again, I agree with Commissioner Woodward, bring in all the other sources of income to get to that, where we, the county, have a cap, so we're stretching those dollars as far as possible and truly making it affordable. I would really like to see something like that, just with some potential. There's a big difference between renting a home and buying one. I think there's a sense of pride, a sense of ownership when you can actually afford to purchase a home and take care of it and grow with it. So I'd really like to see some more opportunities for that. I really would appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the difficulties right now that we've heard from the developers on the for sale units is people being able to qualify for mortgages. In the current market, that is very difficult with the interest rates, insurance costs, and taxes. And so that has been one of the areas where we only had one responsive proposal in the for sale area. And that's the feedback we're receiving from developers, is being able to qualify for mortgages.
Follow-up, Mayor? Oh, gee. So essentially, I guess what I am if we are the ones we went out to the voters, they approved us for these bond dollars to make affordable. Are we not setting these potential guidelines or perimeters, and the money we're offsetting, that's not helping them to qualify with the mortgage?
In the case of the Choto, the Community Land Trust one, some of the money that we're giving from the home dollars is going to be able to offset the payments and make it where the home buyers will be able to buy. So we're using two sources of funding there, both our federal dollars as well as the bond dollars in that particular project.
Yeah. I would say two sources of funding and also a CLT model. So you have really three different ways to try to make that affordable in that particular project.
But you're saying they're still struggling. Is there something we can do to help?
Okay.
It really is about how much assistance that the county can provide in terms of down payment assistance versus the amount of mortgage. When they go to the banks, what we try to do is max their front-end ratio, their debt-to-income ratio at no more than 35%. Factoring in HOAs, if HOAs or condo association fees are there. So our goal is to make sure we keep it affordable because we know the costs are going to rise over years, whether it's insurance, whether it's taxes. So we try to make sure it's affordable to start. I don't know if there's anything more we can do unless we can get the banks to lower their interest rates because right now they're around 7%.
Good luck. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to recognize Commissioner Weiss, who can help explain this a little better for all of us. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just trying to explain on the for sale side. So what we're looking at here and why this one is coming through is this is community land trust. So when the person buys, what they're buying is they're buying the structure. They're not buying the land. The community land trust continues to own the land where the structure is. So when you're looking at these units at building them at $330,000, that's how you can turn around and sell them for $180,000 because they're going to continue to own that land. So they're paying on the $180,000, but now you're looking at the subsidy that's going to take, and we're already concerned about the fact that how far we can stretch these dollars. Unless you have a community land trust model where they can go out and buy the land, it's very, very difficult to do a for sale unit in an affordable house. And then when you start to add on, as was mentioned, you add on the cost of insurance, which, as we know in this state, is quite high. You add on, the cost of, and most of these are going to have to be in multifamily environments. But even if they're not, you've got to put away money for maintenance on these homes. So it is a very difficult proposition to do a for sale, and I understand what you're trying to do, Commissioner, but it's a real challenge. And then we add on, and I know 7% sounds high, but 7% is normal, has been for a long, long time. And I remember when I was first trying to buy a house, and mortgages were 13%, and just prior to that, they were up to 18%. So we have been lulled into a sense of mortgages being 3 to 4%, which is not normal. And understand too, when that happens, our seniors and people who save money are not getting 5% returns on their savings. If you remember just a couple years ago, they were seeing 2 to 3% if they got that, maybe even 1%. I remember 1% returns. So when one person is getting a benefit, another person is getting harmed, and vice versa. So it's a challenge. I think trying to get the for sales is a wonderful thing, but the amount of subsidies would take to do this, it wouldn't even produce the number of homes that we really we need to provide. So I hope that helps explain what's going on.
Commissioner Baxter, you still recognize. Sure,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
I guess to the point of, we have tons of, do the bond dollars only go to a builder who is then building it?
Yes. It's for the creation of new housing units, for sale, rental housing units.
for them creating it. Well, that answers that. So, I mean, again, if I understand the concept of what Commissioner Weiss was saying, and I do appreciate it, and trying to stretch the dollars, it doesn't sound like that would be as useful. I still would like to make, if we're going to spend dollars on affordable housing, to make it truly affordable, especially if we're trying to support our workforce and keep people here from not leaving. So I will, I guess, end with that and just say I appreciate everything you guys have done to bring this to us.
Thank you, Commissioner.
It'll be coming back. Hi, Vice Mayor Moreno, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. The 20,000 unit number that was thrown about a long time ago when this all started is not even recognizable with a $200 million housing bond, because if you take 20,000 units, you divide it by 200 million, that's a subsidy of $1,000 a unit. So the 20,000 unit,
10,000.
I'm sorry?
It's 10,000.
10,000, okay, so that's $2,000 a unit then. 10,000. 10,000 units is 2,000 units at $2,000 a unit versus 20,000 units at 1,000. Okay. Marcy, you said 20,000 or 10,000 units? It was 20,000. Correct, that's what I just said. So 20,000 units divided by $200 million is $1,000 a unit as a subsidy.
10,000.
I did it twice. 10,000?
You have an
Okay,
AT&T
still, all right,
phone?
still, $10,000 a year, okay. Thank you. This is why we don't, we stopped using our brains and we used our calculators. Okay, so, oh, that's right, I'm sorry, I did it with 20 million, not 200 million. Okay, so $10,000 a unit. Okay, thank you. We're still never going to accomplish that either. So our goal is to try to come up with a decent number of units. Now, I concur that I don't want to be the number one lien holder on these units. I don't. And I want to see a lot more skin in the game from other different agencies, partners, and there was one in here that was like 12%, 12.8. This one I did the math right on, okay? The Calusa Point, 12.89% is what our skin in the game is. I'm comfortable with that. But I'm not comfortable with 35% or 40% or 50%. So we do need to figure out a way to bring that number down, or those developers need to figure out a way to get more partners, because that's not an effective use of our dollars. The 1,100 units, give or take, or whatever that we're talking about right now, and taking up more than 50% of our bond dollars, that's not a good use of our dollars either. We need to come up with a better structure. Now, I understand that we need to vote on something because we have to put the millage rate on the tax bill. So maybe you need to give us a time frame of which we can back up before we've got to put this out there so that we know what we're working with. Because I do have a hard time with the limited number of units and the large amount of sorry, brain's not working today. The limited amount of units, but the large amount of dollars. And I don't want the county to be the number one lien holder. And I want people to have skin in the game, because if they don't have skin in the game, they can easily walk away and we're left with an undeveloped project. So how do we make that work? We're listening to the business community. We're listening to our staff, and this is not you didn't do your job well. That's not what this is, because you put out an RFP, people respond to it. They're either responsive or they're not. You're trying to hold their hands to get some of them to be more responsive. I appreciate that. But I don't feel it is my duty or my responsibility if I'm spending taxpayer dollars, because it's going to be, and we gave them a nice tax cut so they could afford their taxes and their insurance, which is why I'm okay with the rental units, because, the rental units, maybe they can set some money aside so that they can, when they do buy a unit, pay the taxes, the insurance, the HOA fees if they choose to be in an HOA community. But we need to do a better job on saying we're not going to be a 50%. Because, at the end of the day, this was supposed to be an aid to people that were going to develop units for us. It wasn't meant to be the number one financing tool. So how we do that, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in that, but, you know, I do know that our taxpayers are going to pay for it in the long run, and any project that we do that gets the money back to us in a more rapid manner is obviously something that, in my eyes, gets more points. So housing units get the money to us, and for sale units get the money to us in 3 years. I like that. I think I've said enough, but basically I'm kind of reiterating what other commissioners have said. And, you know, Commissioner Bernard, you've been the champion of this. How do you feel?
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. I know, just a second. County Administrator Baker, you're recognized.
I'll acquiesce to Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bernard, you're recognized.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. You know, this is very difficult for us to navigate because, you know, when you're doing for sale units, you're going to put more money into subsidizing to get the units built, and so you will have less units. And there is a discussion that, you know, on the affordable side, we need to, you know, because on the affordable side, you can get tax credits, either a 9% or 4% tax credit, which will, using the equity from the tax credits, that will eventually allow you to do a better capital stack, and which will lower the per unit costs on the bond.
Okay.
But on the workforce side, typically there's no type of funding source to create the workforce units. And so, you know, you would say, well, you know, I don't want to spend as much money on the workforce side, but if you don't want to do that, then you probably just say, hey, I want all of them to be affordable. So we're struggling because of the fact that this is very difficult, and there are things that we need to sharpen up, and we want, you know, of course, go back to these developers to reduce the amount that we're spending per unit. And I, whatever we decide today, I want us to still continue to negotiate with the developers, so in that way we're reducing the per unit, and then we can lower the rent. But this is difficult.
Does that take care of that, County Administrator Baker?
Yes, that's it. It has been very difficult. We have spent many hours in discussion on this issue. But what we have before you today, I just want to reiterate, it is conceptual. We heard what you said, and I think most of the developers are out there. And so we need to go back and further negotiate after we get all of our information in. I understand the workforce housing, and this has always been an issue. Where do we put the cap? You know, what will work? And we won't know that until we put out an RFP and it comes back. So we have discussed putting lower caps to actually do just gap financing, but we needed to see what was going to come into us. The board has been clear that we need to really do gap financing, but in order to at least get started with units, and that's what this does, it gets us started. And as money is paid back, we will be able to turn around and loan that money out and add more units down the road. We're not going to do it in our first tranche. So I'm going to ask the board to consider approving this based upon the conceptual approval, based on what direction you've already talked about today. We go back and individually talk to all of the developers to see how we can lower it. When we get to the actual rent amount, that amount again is adjusted based upon HUD and the state, the AMI, which we have no control over. But we do have control as far as what you're willing to fund at that particular level. Let's say no more than 110%, right, of AMI, when the rest of it goes up to 140. I have not discussed this with HUD nor the state. or developers, but this is something that we can go back and talk to them. I don't know if they'll lose money on projects or not be eligible. I don't know what the ramifications will be. However, I heard my board, and I agree with you. I got a kid at home. She did everything we told her to do. Go to college, come back, get a good job, but it is difficult living in Palm Beach County. And we want to make sure our kids, our parents, remain in affordable, decent housing, everyone. However, in Palm Beach County, because everybody wants to live here, that cost has continued to escalate. We will continue to talk to our good friend at HUD and, continue to work with the new secretary. Hopefully, we can get them to consider in high rent, high value areas that we use a different formula to make it fair, because we're all working under the same average salary. And that's looking at a global thing. But if this board allowed us to move forward with the conceptual, again, it's conceptual, it doesn't commit the board at this point, final on a permanent basis, and then bring back, because some of these, I think, meets your expectations. This one does. Right? And so what we like to do, because we put that RFP out, is to actually go back to others and try to negotiate downward.
Ms. Baker, will the officers from HUD stay for a while here?
If not, I will get on the train and go see him.
All right. Well, that train goes two ways.
That's right.
I heard it goes south to north, too, so I'm sure they could, are you, if I may, Ms. Baker, are they stationed in Miami or Washington?
Miami, yes.
We will start with our regional, my new best friend in the Miami area first. There is a new, I don't know if for the permanent new secretary of HUD has been announced or not, but we will also be able to go north to D.C. to see, because we've got to address this issue. It's not going to go away. And the higher the salaries for a certain level of people coming into our community, which we appreciate, don't get me wrong, but it skews the AMI for us, and it's significantly skewing it. So we've got to come up with a methodology that works, not only for Palm Beach County, but I talked to my counterparts throughout the state. They're also having the same problem.
If I may ask a point of reference, if the board approves these requests, these motions, and there's a number of them conceptually, then will we get a commitment that our staff will go ahead and work, and you as well as county administrator, work with HUD and developers and nonprofits who always tell us how wonderful they're doing for our community and our housing, and come back with us with some different numbers?
What I will pledge to you, to this board, is that we will go back and talk to developers. I will continue my conversation with HUD in the state, and that's not easy to change them overnight, but I believe that it is an issue that I can also talk to FAC and some of my counterparts in NACO, so that we can address it holistically throughout the nation. But for our purposes, I think our answer is developers, along with trying to find other sources to help level the playing field. And then to also look at where should we be capping our rents? Is it at the 110%? With our workforce housing program, the board allowed us to, where the categories were 60 to 80, calculated where it's 70. But that's on the county and how we do our workforce housing. I have to deal with the feds in the state on the other.
I think it's an excellent idea to go with FAC, Florida Association of Counties. We're not the only very expensive county in the state. And I'd like to see how they work this situation, whether it's Orlando or Tampa, Miami. I think that would be a very good, very, very good suggestion.
We'll look at our comparable counties that we normally look at.
Okay, very good. Okay, Commissioner Baxter, you're not done yet.
I am not sure where we're going from here. Are we conceptually approving?
Well,
this
we've got a long way to go before we get to that roadway, but are you done with, your light is still on?
I guess the last question, or
Sure.
I guess, no, I would like to point out is, there is one particular program in here that is not using bond dollars. So I would like to, if we're going to vote on this as a whole, one way or the other, make sure that we realize that.
We'll be voting on them individually in a little bit. Got some cards here and things too. So thanks, Commissioner Baxter. Commissioner Woodward?
Thank you.
Sure.
And thank you, Commissioner Bernard, for bringing up about the workforce housing versus affordable, being able to get extra help. Affordable can get extra help. What, is that up to 80% is what can get the help you were referring to?
On workforce or
On affordable. What's the percentage of AMI that can get?
I think it's up to 80% of the AMI.
So the tax credits usually go up to 60%. So
The
you'll
tax
see a
credit,
lot
okay.
of the incentives there. And so, look, as Commissioner said, the workforce, we really don't have a lot of other sources.
So workforce is considered anything over 60?
For the county, we defined it as 60 to 140%.
What about the state?
The state goes up to 140% AMI on their SHIP program. HUD goes up to 80%. The issue there is that HUD will go up to 80% on most of their programs, and the state follows HUD in terms of their formula. And that's why we have the rental rate issue here for those.
SHIP or sale
Hold on just one second. Right?
Affordable for us in these programs are 0 to 80%, and then our workforce goes from 60 to 140.
I was referring to the extra help he was referring to.
Because on the workforce side, what we're trying to do is figure out exactly how do we incentivize the developers to create the workforce units when there are no subsidies that are available, and so which makes it very, very difficult to create the units. And that's the balancing act is we need to create workforce and then also affordable, but affordable will get tax credits to make the deals work a little bit better.
And affordable is the 60%?
Yes.
Or below? Okay, that's the part I wanted to make sure. So 60 and below, there's other help that can be found. Above that is where we may need to step up a little more.
Yes.
However, where do we put the cap above that? Because that's where we have to do the calculations on what our AMI is determined to be. And going up to 140 or even 120 is, that's what I need you to come back with, and with real numbers and, with rental numbers, not just percentages, because I'd like to know what's the rent on that 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartment in dollars.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. And just one point of clarification. The 20,000 units that we were talking about was not associated with the housing bond. It was associated with the housing plan for all that was developed by the Housing Leadership Council and partners. But the housing bond, we never said 20,000 units.
Okay. All right, very good. We have a number of cards that we need to have used to have the public speak, and it is now 12:50. We have a 2 p.m. assembly here for matters by the public. So, Commissioner Weiss, how many cards from the public do we have noted so far that are speaking cards? Approximately. Conceptually. Quite a few.
We have a number of them. I want to say it looks like
20?
on these items.
On the housing.
On the housing items, I would say probably have about probably close to 20.
Close to 20. Okay, it's 12:51. We have to be here sharp at 2 and fed. You don't want hungry commissioners on public comment. So what we could do, and I'm looking to my colleagues, would you like to break now until 2, and then we give everybody an opportunity to speak after our 2 o'clock matters by the public? I don't think, I would not ask you to go straight on to 2. We need a break. So with that being said, let me hear from some of you. Commissioner Bernard.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I know for me, I'd love to hear from some of the folks who are here, and if they can cut their comments a little bit shorter for us, because we're approving your project. So hopefully, you don't let us, we don't get too hungry. And my hope is that we can at least take a 30-minute break before matters by the public.
I would say 40, but go ahead, Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you. I was going to just ask, since they've been here, could we reduce the time per speaker to allow?
Okay, so let's get started. I think most of you can get what you want to say in 1 minute. 1 minute? Wow. Okay, here we go. As I read your name, why don't you just, look, if you go a minute and 10 seconds, it's okay. But let's move on. You've got hungry commissioners, not a good thing. So we're going to go with the first one. Go ahead, Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll start with item 5B1, Alexandria Larson, followed by Alexandria Larson on 5B2.
Wait, hold on, Ms. Larson. I'm going to give you a minute 30 for everything. Is that okay?
No.
No, okay, then have a seat.
Give me a minute and a second.
No,
10 minutes, 10 seconds more.
Okay,
a minute and a half.
Take 1 minute, okay? You're on. You're recognized, ma'am.
Well, what I've heard up here is a lot of voodoo math. I read this back up, 90 pages, 65 pages, 75 pages. I'm so glad Ms. Woodward saw that there was no logic to this at all. Because we did vote for a bond. We were sold a bill of goods. This is kind of like the Ag Reserve, people. What we don't get. The Villages of Valor went from 157 units to 54, and at $26.6 million, you could just buy the houses at $500,000 a piece. I'm sure you could go out and find a realtor, and they could find you the 54 units at $500,000 a piece. And you would have houses that people could live in and be for 50 years, because somehow in this county, nothing lasts for 50 years. We want to tear down buildings that were only here for 20. I want some sense and some logic, because I did not hear that. I heard a lot of round in circles today. And I don't think we deserve that. The taxpayers don't deserve that, because you got taxes, you have insurance. People are struggling.
Ms. Larson, I've never heard you speak so quickly. Thank you so much. Commissioner Weiss?
Brian Finney, on item 5B3, Brian Finney, Jordan Finkelman, Ron Davis, Carol Jones Gilbert, and Michelle Jacobs.
Very good. Sir, you are recognized.
Good afternoon. I guess the thing that I want to point out on the 5B3, you had 3 projects that the Housing Authority, Palm Beach County Housing Authority, is partnering with. And I think when we talk about affordable housing, it's important to remember these deals wouldn't be affordable without the vouchers that the Housing Authority is placing on these projects. We only can project-base 30% of our vouchers. So we have to be very strategic on where we place these vouchers, but we're serving people at 30% of AMI, not 50, not 60, not 80 to 140, 30%, 75% of our constituents have to be at 35% of AMI, 30% of AMI. So we're serving those that deeply need subsidy, who need affordable housing. The rents that you talked about aren't affordable for most people with a job. So imagine seniors on Social Security, people with limited income, those are not affordable rents. And so when we're talking about affordable housing.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Do you have a couple of you going to speak on the same issue? You go right ahead, sir.
Thank you. Brian Finney, Senior Vice President with the Housing Trust Group, and I'll try to be real quick. Just for the record, on our affordable housing, on our Union Baptist Church and our Drexel transaction we talked about, our rents range from $521 to $1,600. On Drexel, $447 to $1,600. We are affordable. We need your assistance to fill the financing gap, because if we keep our rents low, as we do, we need the extra resources to leverage the private financing to complete the deal. That's why the county's money is so important for affordable housing. The Housing Trust Group in the last 9 years have built 5 projects in Palm Beach County. One you see every day, which is Flagler Station, which is as you come into the city. With those 5 projects, we've created 500 units, but most importantly, we've leveraged $91 million. That's the market. And over the last couple of years, the markets have become more competitive. Our costs have gone up, our rates have gone up, but the demand for affordable housing still exists. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do you have a third person you're recognized?
I think Brian covered my points, but just wanted to thank everybody for your consideration. Affordable housing is definitely needed here. And just to clarify, the Flagler Station location, that's right on the railroad down the street. So that's typical of what we build, and we're very proud of it. So thank you very
good.
much.
Thank you. Sir, did you want to finish up? Did you have another gentleman? Go right ahead, sir.
I just want to say this.
Sir, go ahead.
I want to thank, and this is self-serving, so you may think it's self-serving, but it's not. I want to thank staff, not so much for the RFA and what they've done, but for the enthusiasm. I've been around this game for a long time. I'm a former city manager. I ran 2 federal empowerment zones. Your staff's approach was great, but the enthusiasm is what's going to make this work, and I do appreciate that.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Okay, ma'am, we're going to state.
And then Jack Ware is also on 5.
Okay.
5B3.
Hold on just one sec. We're going to go to the young lady. Ma'am, if you state your name, you'll be recognized.
Michelle Jacobs, Economic Council of Palm Beach County. I'll talk
Yes.
really quickly. So first of all, thank you all. This has been a heavy lift, I understand. Our intent, though, when we were going forth on the bond was not for the county to fund projects at this particular level, particularly as a primary lender. Our recommendation was to limit and cap it for all the reasons that you all have described. Nothing more than 15% of a total project and or $5 or $10 million for any one project. Perhaps some guardrails need to be put in place now and clearly establish the rules of engagement of how these should be asked for. What we're asking, though, and suggesting is that prior to any conceptual approval, you need to make some changes to this, because once you conceptually approve it, that moves forward. You do have 2 projects that look great that are under 15%. Perhaps you could approve those 2 projects, but the rest of them, the projects that don't meet the expectations that you all talked about, maybe should be pushed back. How did I do?
Perfect timing in 1 minute. Thank you so much for this, Jacobs. Sir, you're recognized.
Yes, I'm Ron Davis, and I'm here to support moving forward with the conceptual approvals today. I'm a former city manager myself, and I spent 25 years in public management. The developers were only responding to what was put out on the RFP. I think now you're getting feedback, but I think it's unfair to penalize the developers for responding to the RFP, now to change the rules of engagement. Of course, as this has been a new initiative, you didn't have the opportunity to measure out and create rules and caps and everything, and that's understandable. But as you're going through this process, now you have information that can be used to do that. But at the same token, these developers have put forth a great deal of effort and expense to try to assist and supports the county's affordable and workforce housing needs. I will suggest and hope that this board will go forward and support the conceptual approval, allow these projects to go to underwriting, get the underwriter's report, allow the administrators to work with the developers and HUD to get further information, then make the changes at that point. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir, for your opinion. Sir, state your
Good
name.
afternoon, Jack Weir, Housing Leadership Council.
Very good.
Commend the staff for all the work that they've done on this. The bond program was intended to be a gap financing program. Commissioner Woodward is spot on in her comments and questions, and I commend her digging into this like this. The goal was to do 10 to 15% of project costs to supplement other private sources of debt and equity and on affordable deals support. There are more resources available now. SAIL is fully funded. There's a $150 million SAIL workforce housing program. Live Local provides a 75% tax assessment reduction for 120% AMI. The 20,000 units is a goal for the housing plan, as Mr. Brown stated. It was never intended for bonds to get us there. There are many other tools that we have and are available at the state level. We envisioned a rollout over time. These are very difficult circumstances. You don't need to rush. You don't need to issue 120 million in bonds at this stage. We envisioned 50 million. My recommendation is you approve conceptually the 2 that are within these parameters, and that you table the others while you work on guidelines for caps, not only to individual projects, but to also individual developers. You're a lender. You don't want undue concentration of risk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, now on to 5B4, we have John Hurt, Jeffrey Jackson, Alfred Fields, Glenn Spiritus, Dwayne Dickerson, Terry Booty, followed by Ron Davis, Alexandria Larson, Michelle Jacobs, Jack Weir.
Okay. Very good. All right. I need to see a speaker on the left and a speaker on the right. Sir, come on up, state your name, and you'll be recognized.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Terry Christopher Booty. I am the development consultant for the Riviera Beach Housing Authority. I'll be very brief. Number one, I want to commend staff. This is an extremely difficult process to address the middle market. We have two tools, which is Live Local, which reduces the ad valorem tax burden on the project, and then we have the surplusing process through a city. The Riviera Beach Housing Authority, in this case, was the recipient of a large piece of land worth approximately $5.5 million. The issues that are being put forth, they have been resolved. We have communicated that information to staff, and what I'm asking you guys to do is to allow the project to move forward in the underwriting process, because the concentration of units meets the goals. And what I love about this project is that it is one of the projects that is within the cap or threshold of funding. So it is truly gap financing, as it is intended to be in the workforce spectrum. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. Alfred Fields, president of Alpha Educational Foundation, one of the community partners with the Rogers community. I'm here to support the project and asking you to ask staff to take this as being a part of the next step. This is a project that is really needed, and we are on the grounds working with the Housing Authority in Riviera Beach, as well as working and dealing with the residents that are really in need of this project. So as a community leader, a community activist, and a community advocate, we're asking you to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir?
Yes, I'm John Hurd. I'm the executive director of the Riviera Beach Housing Authority. I'm just asking the board to consider this project that was not being considered. We worked with the city for over 2 years to try to gain site control. We finally did that. That was one of the considerations by the selection committee. And after all of these efforts, and we've brought the project schedule on time since our initial conversations with staff. Staff thinks this is a favorable project, and I think that we have the capacity to meet the timetables that would be outlined and for this particular bond issue.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Sir, you're recognized.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Jeffrey Jackson, and I'm the president of the Riviera Beach Housing Authority. We're honored and excited about having an opportunity to develop the site, the Judge Rogers site. I think it's a unique opportunity to add affordable housing to the city of Riviera Beach. I think we can all agree that Riviera Beach really need housing.
Housing, yeah.
And I would encourage you and pray that you guys move this project forward. We have site control now. That's something we didn't have before. And most of those things, I think you'll find if you look into it, that we have satisfied those situations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, you're recognized.
Good afternoon. My name is Dwayne Dickerson. I'm the land use and zoning attorney for this project with the law firm Miskell Backman, along with my partner, Hope Calhoun. I just want to let you know it's my firm's responsibility to secure the entitlements for this project, and I want you to rest assured that we have the horsepower to get it done. We understand there are some very specific time frames to receive the entitlements so this project can move forward. We understand those time frames, and we're going to do everything we need to do to satisfy those time frames. As you know, this is a partnership with the city and the county and any other jurisdictional authority, and so far the city started working forward in the right direction. They've approved their development agreement, and in that development agreement they've added specific language that states that they will expedite and move this project forward as quickly as possible. So I believe whatever issues that came up when staff was reviewing this, we've worked to resolve those issues, and we respectfully request that you move this project forward this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, you're
Heard
recognized.
my name. I didn't know what number you called, Commissioner. I was out of the room.
That's okay. You may speak.
The number, which item are we speaking on, dear?
We're on
5B4.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This one was, reading the backup on this one was unusual because the way the banks were written up, the RUDG LLC maintains a banking relationship and they got 8 figures. That was in the backup. I can't make this stuff up when I'm reading it. It's like, it's unbelievable. And all of them. This needs to go back to the drawing board. I think you need to take a lighter to this agenda and start over because we really don't understand it at all. That's one thing that I've got out of the meeting today. None of us understand it. So hopefully we can go back to the drawing board because it seems there's desperation in the room. There's a lot in the room today. So hopefully you'll really get a clear view of what this was supposed to have been with the taxpayer-funded bond.
Thank you so much, Ms. Larson. All right, Commissioner Weiss is going to read the names.
Ron Davis, Michelle Jacobs, Jack Weir.
No, okay.
Alberto Milo Jr., Halon Taylor.
Okay. Just 1 second, sir.
Yes.
All right, and I appreciate Ms. Jacobs for waving support. Very good. All right, sir.
Yes,
You're
I'm Ron
recognized.
Davis again, yes. In this instance, I know that there were problems cited in the Riviera Beach review and evaluation. I understand that those issues have been addressed and remedied by the city's support of the development agreement and site control, those issues. And I know that the department will give its due attention to those matters because they just got those responses, I understand. However, I'm hoping that the department can bring back to you their formal comments about their review and in a timely manner over the next few weeks so that they allow the project to be reconsidered for underwriting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, you're recognized.
Thank you and good afternoon. Albert Milo, President of Related Urban. Thank you for this dialogue today. I think it was a healthy dialogue, and it's certainly a challenge, to figure out, how to set those parameters for your funding. But as, we had 2 projects here, but I want to talk specifically about our Residences Marina Village project. That is under 10%, the request of the total capital stack. It's $4.7 million out of a $53.5 million project. We do have a range of incomes ranging from 60%, 80%, 90%, 100, 110%. So we have that, diversity of incomes in there. And, we'd like, it is time sensitive. We have some state dollars, as was mentioned earlier. And we want to be able to move that project forward. We're fully committed to that. It is a partnership with the Riviera Beach CRA. So we want to expeditiously get the shovel in the ground. And our other project, we have some ideas. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, you're recognized.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. Aaron Taylor, Arc Development Global, representing One North Lake and Westgate LLC. I just wanted to, first of all, acknowledge staff. I mean, I don't know if the people outside of this chamber is having any understanding of what it took to try to put this together. So as much as people talk about how much we don't understand, anytime you're pioneering anything, you're going to hit some bumps along the road and have some challenges you have to overcome. I would ask that the board consider the fact that each of these projects is a snowflake. And even though you may have a set of parameters in which you're trying to achieve something, everything is not, again, going to fit in a perfect box. Each of these projects has different funding sources available to them, and some of them don't qualify for the funding sources that others do, but it doesn't mean that they weren't qualified projects. I think the reality is you have a very serious problem with affordable housing, and we're going to come to a precipice where at some point in time, either the county and the staff can come up with something that does fit, or the housing that can come online just won't. And that would, to me, that would be a bigger tragedy. So please keep that in mind when you review their projects.
Thank you so much for those comments. Thank you, sir. All right, Commissioner Weiss.
And then we have on 5B5 is Alexandria Larson.
I think she spoke on 5B5, didn't you not?
5B4.
Okay, go right, unless you...
Oh, you want me not to speak at all?
You're on, Ms. Larson. Go right ahead.
I really do, Commissioners. I think this is something that we've got to really step back. I really would. These are the positions. You got 4 positions. You're getting $407,000, and you'll have 4 people that'll be as confused as everybody in this room today. Hopefully, they'll be able to get a grip on all of this, because this is, like I said, what I'm seeing today is desperation and taxpayer money again, because we put ourselves here. We are a very expensive county. but we also think, I don't know about the entitlements, and we deserve it because we're a better group of people, because you got 7 of them, 7 people that want to do stuff, and 2 of them think they're better than everybody else. That's what I see. Because when I see Related Group and the banks and all the backup on this, I invite everybody at home to go read this agenda and the backup, and they will be as confused as all of us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Larson. Okay, very good. We've done a great job. You have done a great job in limiting your comments to 1 minute. We are going to move forward now with comments and questions by the board, and I'd like to go ahead for a vote before lunch, if that's okay. But let's go ahead and let's hear from the board. Commissioner Woodward, then Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you, Mayor. I just had one question for staff. When do we need to decide the amount of the bond money that we want to issue?
That's a good question.
Today.
Yeah, I mean, I can come back on the 14th. I mean, we've got a meeting next week, but that doesn't give you a lot of time, so it's a short.
Ms. Baker?
We will set millage on July 2nd. So we would need to, in between that time, decide how much we want to issue so we can put it on the tax roll at the July 2nd meeting, so we can back into it. We've got another meeting on the 14th. We've got our June meeting. I don't want to push it off too far because we still have to go through the bond process and signing papers and doing what we need to do. But we also have a zoning. Oh, no, probably not zoning.
I would say that I think we have a board meeting on June 4th.
We do.
That's like my drop dead deadline, I would really say, because that would give me another 2.5 weeks to actually take this to market and get the funding and know what my debt service is. Our June 2nd meeting is always a tough one for budget because we don't officially get our values till July 1, although the property appraiser is usually pretty good about getting it to us maybe about 5 days before that. So I don't get you a full package a week ahead of that July 2nd meeting. So it's just how it is every year for us. So it's a little tight from that schedule, but the June 4th BCC meeting would be my drop dead deadline.
So just for a follow-up, if we were to have this extra amount of time, which is, it's short, would that give staff an amount of time to give us I know we can't underwrite it between now and then, but would it give us a chance to have a better understanding of some of the projects we as a board would like to fund versus ones that would be above the cap that we've discussed?
Yes, ma'am. I guess the question would be do you want us to go back and try to negotiate with the developers on reduced costs and things and bring that back to you so that way you can make that part of your decision making?
I would very much like that.
Yes. And then to be clear on the caps. I know that yours, most of us, are looking at affordability. And so up to what level will we be assessing or determining what the rents would be? So would you want us to limit it to the 120, the 110, the 100? Because there were no projects up to the 140, correct? So they are up to the 120, but that is something that we would need to go back and definitely talk to the developers on.
From my perspective, I would top it at the 110%, but I'm happy to hear what everyone else.
All right. Let's hear from the other commissioners. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Woodward. Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I support capping at the 110, and if we can agree on that. I guess the other question is, do you want us to pretty much table everything, or do you want us to say on the bond resolution would be on June 4th?
I would like to ask the board to give us permission to go back and talk to the developers, approve it on a conceptual basis. It is strictly conceptual. It is not that you're committing the board. the board is not committing to it.
Well, you know, the,
5B1.
on 5B,
Five.
yes, on 5B, it says and.
sorry.
If y'all look at 5B1, A, B, and C, the B is negotiate the funding and, so it's not or, so.
That's not a conceptual
Oh,
approach.
I'm sorry.
That's
Sorry,
right.
I thought you were on the other.
5B1 is the NSP dollars, so
Right.
that one was asking for an approval.
That's the
but-
2 million for,
So
But we could
maybe,
bring that as
maybe in
well.
terms of moving forward, why don't we direct our comments right now, before we take the vote, on 5B1, A, B, and C? Okay? Okay, so I have Commissioner Bernard, 5B1, A, B, and C, Commissioner Baxter. Do you have any, I know, you keep your light on just in case. That's
No,
good.
you switched gears on us.
Okay.
So
Second now.
I do agree. I do like the idea of taking these on kind of one at a time,
Right.
going through them, and deciding as a board which way we want to go. So I guess I will make my comments on 5B1 that because this is, I believe, one of the only for sale ones, let's say, never mind, this is Village of Valor. This is,
This is a rental.
correct, this is the rental one.
Yes.
They are all mixing together at this point, so forgive me. So yes, I do,
I'll make a motion if you.
I'll let Commissioner Bernard make the motion.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. On item 5B1, A, B, and C, I'd like to make a motion to approve 5B1, A, B, and C.
All right, we have a second by Commissioner Barnett. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. Now, let's move to 5B2. All right, 5B2, page 75, and,
Madam Mayor,
yes, sir.
on item 5B2, A, B, C, and D, I'd like to make a motion to approve 5B2, A, B, C, and D.
Second.
Okay, we have a first by Commissioner Bernard, second by Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously. Now, moving forward to 5B3 on page 77. Commissioner Bernard, I'm looking at you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. On 5B3, what I'd like to know from staff before we proceed is which one of these projects potentially would meet the under the 15% cap? It looks like Calusa Point.
Yes, Calusa Point, I calculated to be 12.9%.
Okay. What about the Drexel Senior? That's not.
That was one that staff did not recommend.
Okay, but it's over that 15%, am I correct?
Yes, they requested 18 million out of 37.5, so that's at 48%. And somebody at the other end of the table might have math, but I'm doing it quick on my calculator.
Is that correct? Yes, sir.
So, Madam Mayor, what I'd like to do is on 5B3 on the Calusa points, and since it meets that cap,
right,
that I'd like for us to make a motion to approve that on the conceptual basis for Calusa Point.
All right, let's see if we can do that. Hold on just one second.
So on the other.
Okay.
On the other remaining items, the motion would allow staff to negotiate and meet with developers and for us to hear it at the June 4th meeting.
All right, that's made. Let me hear, Commissioner Woodward, you're going to second it. That's good. Madam Attorney, we can do that. Okay, very good. All right, does everybody understand? All right, we have first and a second. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously. 7-0, that's 5B3.
And Madam Mayor, if you don't mind, since Drexel did not get a recommendation,
right?
I'd like for us to still, if we can negotiate with them too and see what they can bring back up to us.
I think that's prudent. Is that okay with staff?
Absolutely.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. Then we have a first by Commissioner Bernard, second by Commissioner Baxter. All those for. Anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. Excellent.
So hold on, just to make sure on that last item, let's make sure that we
Staff.
also include that it is going to be up to the 110% of the AMI as recommended by Commissioner Woodward.
These are affordable.
Yes. Oh, these are the affordable side, so.
No, these are workforce.
So it's
Okay.
not as much as.
So does the clerk have that down? Okay, good. All right, as long as the clerk has it, we're good. Now, one more, 5B5.
5B4.
That was 5B4.
So in 5B4, the first item that I'd like for us to approve, which is the HIP dollars.
Yes.
Which would be the One North Lake project and the Westgate Terrace, because I believe both of these projects probably meet that 15% cap. And we're not using the housing bond dollars, we're using the housing initiative program
Good.
dollars. So we would approve One North Lake and Westgate Terrace. That's the first motion.
Okay.
Second.
So we have a second with Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously.
Okay.
7-0. Now moving on. Go ahead, Commissioner Bernard.
And then, so next item, which is the residences at Marina Village. I would like to make a motion to approve the residences at Marina Village.
That's 4-3A.
That's,
Okay, we have first by Commissioner Bernard. We have a second by Commissioner Woodward. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously.
and then the remaining
Take us
items.
home here.
And the remaining items, Madam Mayor, Gallery at Sunset
Sunset
Park,
Park.
Residences of Lake Worth Beach.
Right.
The Judge Rogers project, the motion would be for us to allow county staff to negotiate with the developers and to bring that back to us at the June 4th meeting.
Very good. We have a first by Commissioner Bernard, second by Commissioner Woodward. All those for, anybody opposed? See, it passes 7-0. All right, you're on a roll, Commissioner Bernard.
So item 5B5, Madam Mayor, I'd like to, since we haven't had a chance to talk about 5B5, I would like to table this item for the June 4th meeting.
Well, okay. Is that okay with staff? That's very good. Okay, that will be tabled. And we have a second by Commissioner Baxter. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously. 5B5 will be tabled into the June 4th meeting.
And Madam Mayor, item 5C1, I'd like to table this for the June 4th meeting.
Okay, it's okay with staff. I have a second by Commissioner Woodward. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Do I have a motion for lunch? So I got a second for that. We are in recess. We're not adjourned. We're in recess until 2 p.m. See you all here.